With the sun's daily climb towards apogee, spring opens the door to the backcountry, and it calls to us for one final send. In our wake, the selector venue in Montana Bowl at Revelstoke Mountain Resort, where 24 riders went head-to-head for a chance at finals day. We witnessed shocking upsets and timeless highlights. For those that seized the day, the dream venue awaits. Mosquito Bowl, an imposing massif with nearly infinite ways a rider can paint it. An alpine big mountain start zone that gives way to a series of benches, all draped in a perfect gradient of Revelstoke powder. Amongst the 500,000 acres of the Selkirk Tangiers hilly tenure, the variables of terrain, snow and weather have found coherence on this day of days. In the end, prestige and respect await those on top of the podium, as well as one of the biggest prizes in snowboard history. However, the magic of this event lives in the riders, their dedication to the craft and culture. They would spend their entire winter here just for this opportunity, even if none of us were here. Welcome to the final day of the 2024 Yeti Natural Selection Tour.
Riders ready, dropping in 3, 2, 1, drop.
Breathtaking competitions. And he stops it!
History is being made here.
And he is not slowing down. Rice lacing a giant double line.
Welcome to the Yeti Natural Selection Finals 2024, where a blank canvas awaits 12 of the world's best riders here at the Selkirk Tangiers heli tenure in British Columbia. Joining me in the booth are the Sideways Savant, Todd Richards, and our Mary, mother of snowboarding, Mary Walsh. Pleasure to have you both here. Todd, a lot of pressure on these riders today.
Yeah, I think, today being a finals day, this is the best of the best, and we are looking at some incredible terrain here, and there's going to be some big airtime out there today.
Mary, I think one of the biggest challenges for these riders is the fact that this is the first time they've had boots on the mountain.
Yeah, sweet.
Yes, usually the riders get significantly more study time, and they get on-sighting both to look at the venue from the bottom, perhaps some billy goat trails. This is an entirely new venue that they're all getting, like you said, boots on the ground right now. I think that's going to be a big factor in today's competition.
And scale's always an issue, Todd.
Yeah, when these riders are looking down, all they see is basically just features with little shadows surrounding them, and they don't know whether it's a 40-foot launch or 140 feet. So that's for our pleasure.
Okay, it's time now to go up to the top of the hill where our correspondent Stan Levier is waiting with the Oakley weather check.
Beautiful sunny day in the Selkirks. Definitely a day for the dark lenses. Negative 6.6 degrees Celsius. And I talked to Patrol beforehand. They dug a couple pits. We do see that March 8th layer down a little bit. He says it shows up in different ways as the aspect changes, but everything is looking good. All the riders just made it up here. More excitement than I expected, honestly. I expected a little more nerves. But I think when you get out, you see this beautiful picturesque view, you're ready to get into finals. It's gonna be a hell of a day. T-Bird, how are things looking down there?
We're down here in the finish corral. The riders are just starting to arrive. They took their warm-up laps, and we are about to start day 2 of the Yeti Natural Selection out here in the Selkirk Tangiers heli skiing range. 500,000 acres of absolutely ridiculous terrain out at this tenure. I don't know if a lot of you have seen The Art of Flight, but a large portion of that film was shot in this area. So we're about to kick things off. 8 men, 4 women, a champion will be crowned here today. Let's go.
Thank you very much, Tom. Thank you, Stan. Boys looking resplendent in that Arc'teryx gear. Now, it's time to cast our mind back and take a quick recap of day 1 of qualifying, which took place in Revelstoke yesterday. It was an intense day of competition. 24 of the world's best going head-to-head, and it means that there's no light matchups, Todd.
No, it was heavy punch-outs from the beginning, and the venue itself, there was no shortage of features to get busy on, and we just saw, I mean, there was everything. There was kickers, there were steep sections, blind rollovers, and then also we had that whole wow factor of, yeah, this whole thing could slide at any second. I mean, it was, like you said, very intense.
And I think, too, we see in this year the culmination of the evolution of the last few years of contests with those strategies that the riders are employing and how they're going up against one another in these brackets. I mean, we really saw everyone put their feet on the gas pedals collectively.
And a lot of different styles. As you can see from these highlights, you've got back sevens from Red Gerard, you've got Kevin Backstrom trying to put those butters in there, double backies, but then it's twinned with these big pillow stacks at the bottom of the venue.
That's kind of how it goes. Like, you want to wow, you need to combine everything. You can't go out there and treat this like a slope style. You've got to use the whole terrain.
Yeah, I mean, I think this venue typifies the kind of relentless perspective that you need to keep going and succeed in a natural selection contest.
With the highest score on the women's side, Haley Langland is taking home a brand new Summit 850 Turbo. Congratulations.
Highest scoring qualifier for the women, Haley. On the men's side, it was Sage Kotsenberg, and that had a lot to do with it.
Absolutely. Sage went wild.
Our men's highest qualifier of the day, Sage Kotsenberg, is taking one of these home.
No question, there were some big scalps taken in the men's and women's. On the men's side, Blake Paul, Mark McMorris, Mikkel Bang, Dustin Craven all out. On the women's side, all 3 previous champions, Robin Van Gin, Elena Haidt and Zoe Sadowski-Synnott, did not progress through. But there were some incredible moments that saw them pushed to their limit. These were the BOA dialed in moments of the day. This one, incredible from Hannah Beeman.
Yeah, and I think by virtue of Hannah opening up that east venue, I mean, no one else really wanted to step to that by virtue of the avalanche conditions. You can see right there, a little slide, but Hannah, you know, this is what natural selection is all about, taking those risks and you get rewarded.
And of course, on the men's side, Nils, you know, his triumphant return back to the head-to-head brackets and natural selection, I think he really delivered. He opened up new terrain as well with Beggars Canyon and had that just gorgeous switchback 7 right there.
Yeah, Nils was just, you know, riding switch, wiggling around this whole scenery here, taking those big risks off cliffs, but blending the technical.
And that drone angle didn't actually show just how incredible linking those noses was there. Well, we have on the women's side, we called it a blank canvas here. It is a clean slate on the women's side. There will be a brand new Natural Selection Tour champion for 2024, taking home that Rivian R1T at the end of the day. This is the format that's facing us, though. Talk us through it.
Okay, we got 8 riders and 3 rounds. We have the quarters, the semis, and the finals. It's head-to-head, so someone leaves. It is a Thunderdome matchup situation.
Okay, and on the women's, we're 1 round more advanced, Mary.
Yes, we're kicking it off with semifinals for the women, and they will need to advance through that to make it to finals to crown the overall tour champion.
Okay, fresh legs are what will be required on a venue of this size, though. It is gigantic, 1,600 feet or just over 500 meters of vertical, a couple of benches, a couple of flat spots, and this is how they will be judged. Lots to unpack here, but you talked about it earlier on, Mary. It's about pushing from start to finish.
Yes, the judges definitely want to see the red line pinned. You know, this is really complicated. We talked about it earlier. Everything is going to be on sighting. None of the riders have ridden this, but no one wants to see a layup. The judges are going to be looking for that progressive, technical, and, you know, decisive riding.
Okay, this is how they line up. You can see what went down in men's qualifiers, and that leads us into some mouth-watering matchups. Torsten Horgmo goes against Sage Kotsenberg. Austen, Sweetin, Mikey, Ciccarelli, two very different styles of riding there. Jared Elston and Nils Mindnich. I think that one's going to be close. And then two powerhouses at the bottom of the draw, Tom.
You know, you look at this and it's like, what video part do you want to watch right now? And this is like the who's who of having the sickest video parts of all time. This is such a treat to get to see this go down in an actual competition format.
Okay, which of these matchups stand out to you, Mary?
Yeah, Mary, give us a name.
Oh man, this is hard. They all do really, but I think looking at that first matchup, Torsten versus Sage, is so compelling because they both have that very heavy slopestyle background and are dominant in the backcountry. You know, I think this is where that experience in competition plus time in the mountains is going to come into play.
Being able to on-site and actually scale these features so you get what you need. Okay, this is the women's side of the draw. Much more compact, but no shortage of heavy-hitting matchups. Hayley Langland, Marion Haerty, totally different styles there, Todd.
Totally different styles. You have one that's really comfortable in the unknown, and that's Marion. And Hayley is the one that can read, transition, and features the best. So it's going to be a technicality, the slopestyle prowess of Hayley up against the, you know, just having the wherewithal in the backcountry of Marion. That's going to be a really interesting matchup.
And it's definitely no different with Jamie Anderson and Mary Rand.
Oh, completely. Mary has been putting in time and effort in the backcountry for years. She's spent time in Alaska. She's used to having to ride things that she hasn't been on before. And Jamie, of course, one of the most accomplished competitors who brings this explosive ability to the backcountry.
She was in incredible form in qualifiers as well. Can't wait to watch that one go down. Okay, if you scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen there, you can download the Sendy app. That's where all of the Natural Selection merch is this year. We're going to take a quick break. We'll get the action underway when we come back.
A different breed. That's how we describe our new sleds. And that's how we describe you, who rides them. You, to whom what comes after the storm is definitely not the calm. You who knows that there's a big difference between gray and monument gray. You who knows what this feels like.
You ready?
That's good.
Welcome back to the Yeti Natural Selection Tour finals here at the Selkirk Tangiers Heli Tenure in British Columbia. A brand new venue for you today. And as we always say on Natural Selection, Mother Nature is the main character, and this bowl is quite spectacular. We're going to take a closer look at it now thanks to the Onyx backcountry maps. This is exactly the resource that the riders used to site this venue because they didn't have boots on snow. You can scan the QR code and you can download the app. Now, Mary, this couldn't be more different to yesterday's venue.
Oh, completely. Whereas the first venue was a dogfight from feature to feature, Mosquito Bowl is absolutely expansive. You can see those massive benches, the space between these enormous hits and rolls of terrain. It's just a completely different scenario.
Yep, the peak up there at 7,500 feet or 2,300 meters, the finish at 5,800 feet or 1,800 meters. So a lot of vertical to play with and no shortage of features, Mary.
Completely, and we got word from Travis Rice that it was 10 out of 10 conditions of the snow to ride this, and that's also a big thanks to the Selkirk Tangiers crew, whose avalanche mitigation has really set the venue up for today.
Okay, we can take a closer look now with the GoPro course preview, courtesy of the GoPro 12. Look at this. So you've got guidelines on the outside of the venue there, but you kick off, you come straight into these beautiful fluting spines.
I mean, it's really kind of dream terrain, right? I mean, this is the kind of thing, looking at how beautiful the day is, like everyone's got to be absolutely frothing up there to drop in.
And you know that this is actually part, like Selkirk Tangiers Heli have this open to the public. So if you go up there, you can actually ride this. You can go and get some scale on the hits that people are going to be taking. This one of the big noses, beautiful landing off the back of that. And now we start to hit the tree line. So it starts to get way more technical down at the bottom here.
And, you know, from this view, you can really see some of that snow activity and the avi mitigation that has been performed in this area to make it ready for today. As Stan mentioned, that March 8th storm did come through, obviously, this whole arena, but a combination of natural activity that sloughed off some of the snow, as well as the Selkirk Tangiers crew, has really created the canvas in the best and most safe way possible for today.
Okay, it looks absolutely beautiful. And we've got this incredible clear spot in between some rotary cloud, which is holding for now perfect light, perfect snow, and the world's best riders. So let's get stuck into the quarterfinals. And what a set of matchups we have here. Torsten, Horgmo, Sage Kotsen, Austen, Sweetin, Mikey, Ciccarelli, Jared Elston, Nils, Mindnich. And then those powerhouses down at the bottom. I really like the look of Torgeir, Bergrem, Travis Rice.
Oh yeah, you know that Torgeir Bergrem's coming into this with a lot of momentum from his previous season's filming. And of course, you know, Travis is never one to back down from a good matchup.
Yeah, there is no way of laying up here. Every single one of these heats is a final. And both Torsten, Horgmo and Sage Kotsenberg will know that better than anyone. Torsten, one of the more experienced riders on tour, 9 heats, 5 wins. He made one final against Travis in arguably some of the best riding we've ever seen at Natural Selection in Alaska in 2022. 2023 didn't go Torsten's way. Sage took a year off tour. Back for the first time now. This one, I feel like this one could go either way, Mary.
I completely agree. Both of these riders, they do have a similar pedigree. Obviously, very unique styles for each one of them, but they came up riding very heavy in the competition scene. You know, both very dominating slope riders. And then when they transitioned to backcountry, they found fairly immediate success because they are both true ATVs with just a lot of strength in their boarding.
Okay, so Torsten repping Nerona, Oakley, and Capita, part of the Industry Alliance, Nerona and Capita. Oakley looking after our weather check. He drops in after that customary meditation that we always see him do. He's so good at on-sighting. I think it's a skill that a lot of people didn't give him credit for in Alaska, and he proved a lot of, well, surprised a lot of people.
Oh, I completely agree. I think, you know, his type of riding really shines in this, and his ability, just a beautiful front 360, just landing that like he's ridden this terrain before right there.
There's not many times I think sexy is appropriate to use in commentary, but that was a sexy bit of snowboarding.
Yeah.
Oh, butter to switchback.
Oh,
one.
That was so nice. Okay, this is a way to open up the venue.
Wow. Just effortless, graceful snowboarding from Torsten Horgmo through the top section of this course across this bench here.
And that snow looks absolutely perfect. It's glistening in the sun.
Oh, it just sparkles, isn't it? Unicorn princess snow.
Okay, look at this convex roller. Now that is a crazy intimidating thing to snowboard over, and he doesn't even like buff any speed. And looks
Front
like
3.
Yes.
Just held on to that toe edge heavy as he landed, but turned it straight into a carve.
Trying to keep some speed here as he heads over this next roller. I mean, I think that Torsten just riding a really great double drop there, little double pillow line.
The confidence just to roll into that at that speed.
Wow, he's making this look much easier than it actually is.
A really, really I think beautiful's the word. Like,
yeah.
His economy of movement there, really quiet style from top to bottom.
Yeah, I think that was very authoritative, and he made things look very, very smooth, very melodic, and for the first run on a face that none of these riders have ever been on before, he made that look effortless.
Look at him. He's so zen down at the bottom, isn't he? Just totally meditated his way through a natural selection run.
That was pure magic.
There you have it, right from the horse's mouth. We knew the snow was going to be good, but Torsten Horgmo, a man who's had way more than his fair share of powder turns, calling it pure magic. What a way to open up natural selection here in the Selkirk Tangiers Heli tenure. It is now the turn of Sage Kotsenberg to drop in. Let's hear a little more from the man who won Jackson Hole in 2022.
Yeah, I've been on K2 for 4 or 5 seasons now, and they've been really supportive of everything. The board that I'm going to be riding, most likely going to be the antidote, looking at the course yesterday. We made it actually for the 2022 tour of Natural Selection, the Jackson Hole Baldface in Alaska year. And we just looked at the terrain and broke it down and what board could really hammer out all of those events. And that's what we came up with. It was a really fun process and something special to me. And yeah, I really enjoy riding it. It's one of my favorite boards ever. Now having K2 Natural Selection ponying up together is rad because I like doing the events and obviously R&D a lot with K2, so big things to come for sure.
Yeah, if you want to go and do cab 9s of booters and land 40-foot cliffs in the backcountry, go and get yourself an antidote. Sage Kotsenberg coming in hot after the highest score in qualifying, and that.
Okay, that's wasting no time. Oh, look at that. Oh. Nice method, pulls it out, lands a little bit on his tail and just rides right through. That was a beauty.
So out into the flats now. Got to get this measured. Looking for another maybe angle off the side there. Crossing across by Torsten.
He just has his foot on the gas right now.
Well, you've got to make sure that you don't get bogged down here. This is powder snow and really flat terrain.
Wow, that really just gives you an idea of the expanse of Mosquito Bowl. That's incredible. Popping a frontside 3 off that, keeping his speed into this next hill, just popping over.
Taking a little look back at his spray there as well, enjoying that one.
And here we get into this big blind roller area, heading down a new track, which of course that's something that the judges definitely reward. Oh, and it looks like he's heading right to this cliff.
No hesitation.
Oh, okay.
Little ski cut there, getting a good chunk of snow breaking loose above that pillow stack.
This angle really shows the size of that. So, wow. Okay. Oh, little butt check comes out.
He just swung around to switch. So you breaking up a bit of the flow of the line there. So you compare it, you've got this really clearly marked traverse track as well, making sure the riders don't blow past the finish. So scan the QR code at the bottom if you want to get involved in that K2 giveaway, win a full setup.
Yeah.
So this is a really interesting one.
Oh my gosh, sand. Oh, so good.
So this is obviously solid matchup, exactly what we were expecting. Torsten came in hot and he rode a very considered smooth line. I mean, beautiful frontside 3 off that spine right there. But then, Sage's run at the end, he was taking a massive chance on that cliff.
I think you see it from that angle, that butter to switchback 1. That is really big. He's covering a lot of ground off that.
And I think, Yeah, that is just massive and beautiful. And the landing, he touches down so perfectly.
So this first method from Sage, it's beautiful, but he just backseat. He doesn't quite make the landing transition he's looking for.
Totally, not as clean, but also the speed that he's going.
It's the fact that he's actually had a backseat and he's still doing about 40 miles an hour. He comes through this bottom section really nicely, but it's getting hung up on this section, I think, is where the score's gonna come unstuck. Did well to stay up there.
Yes, when that broke off, I mean, that view right there is so gnarly. Like, that is a massive cliff right there.
Could have got dragged off quite easily, but just on his heels as he comes out, reverts. So we expect this score to go the way of Torsten.
That is a really fun scores.
Okay, coming in now. 77 for Torsten Horgmo, 57 for Sage Kotsenberg, exactly as we thought. And I think, let's ignore Sage's for now. I think Torsten being rewarded for attacking those bowling balls, those blind rolls. There was zero hesitation.
Yes, exactly. And those are such incredibly intimidating features when you're on the mountain. And I think the ease with which he navigated them really shows a finesse that doesn't even necessarily come through quite enough.
Okay, I think we're going to get lessons in that all day, though, Mary. Next quarter-final between the men is Austen Sweetin versus Mikey Ciccarelli, a classic content versus contest battle, although the last 2 years with Arc and The Sun came out for Mikey Ciccarelli have proved that he has got the credentials in the film world to mix it with anyone. But Austen Sweetin going to drop first, and we're going to watch highlights from his run. See how he got on in his first taste of the Mosquito Bowl.
Austen Sweetin, of course, a rider who we know to just send it from the beginning, and we see that here with this incredibly consequential start, just mocking down the face. But, oh, it looks like he kind of wheelied out a little bit out of control at that end.
All four line up top there, just couldn't keep it under control, and from there on in, he's unfortunately at a disadvantage.
That was insane. Rollers go, sun's out.
Okay, so not the score that Austen Sweetin will be looking for from that first run, but we go back up to the top now with Mikey Ciccarelli, the Whistler local, who the mentors that he's had access to making that transition from slopestyle contest riding into the backcountry is just immense.
Well, he's just nestled in this sweet spot of, Canadian royalty in the backcountry, and so many teammates of his on the Burton crew, obviously, you mentioned being in ARC. I mean, he's really has a pedigree that is being groomed in those mountains.
He's in that very small club of riders who can lay down 1260s off backcountry booters, and he makes his way out onto this big fin at the top of the course.
And we see him navigating the same line that Torsten went to earlier, using that intel a little bit for a big backside. Wait.
Just held on to that. His tail was doing all of the work there.
Wow. Okay, and now losing a little bit of speed as he comes through. Probably just, figuring out where he's heading off to. That looked bigger than it was from this angle.
I think he thought he could get a bit higher up on that hip as well. So he's got a nice blind roll coming up. Just looks for a little skip off that.
And this again, where the riders kind of have to keep speed, making sure that their wayfinding is going exactly where they plan. And you can see Mikey really utilizing the intel via tracks from previous runs.
Skipping over that little roll. You can see he's waiting to lay it out. Big front three to marry with that back three at the top.
And then heading over to this convex section. A little bit of a pause at the top. And then dropping the cliff band, rides away very clean.
Beautiful little heel jam on that double just to slow himself down and make sure he found transition.
And then he made it to the goat path.
Yeah, picking up that traverse down into the finish area. Strong opening run from Mikey Ciccarelli.
How fun was that? Insane. Holy shit, I went so far off the top. I just went way too fast. How was your run? That front three at the bottom looks so good.
Dude, the snow's insane.
Dude, it's so good.
It's gonna get sick, with the track.
Oh
my God.
Because
the flat, so We'll get hits and shit.
So Mikey Ciccarelli out in the first round in both Revelstoke and Alaska in 2023. Finds his feet. He's into the finals here. Big backside three tail grab, way bigger than Torsten, and it actually looked a bit messier on that replay.
Yeah, a little, I reverted a little bit on that touch, held it together, but probably not as clean as he would have liked it, of course. You know, I think it's worth noting, too, that, you know, he's really utilizing kind of the mapping of those tracks that have come before him.
You can see how much, there might have been a little release there from Torsten as well. He's got a great high line there. I still think it wasn't quite the line he was looking for off that second feature.
Yeah, I mentioned it down at the bottom that there was a little bit of route finding there that he wasn't expecting. And then with that cliff drop at the end, wasn't the hugest cliff drop, but I mean, still navigating that in addition to the tricks that he put down, that's a very solid run.
Dude, unreal, man. All right, we're ready for scores at finish.
Okay, scores coming in. 72 for Mikey Ciccarelli, 66 for Austen Sweetin. So work for Austen to do in run 2. But if there's one thing you know with Austen Sweetin, he's more than capable of delivering in this type of terrain with this kind of snow. Mikey Ciccarelli far from safe with that score. Okay, back up to the top again for the third of our matchups. And this one, two very similar riders. Nils Mindnich up against Jared Elston. And I've loved watching Jared Elston mature into a bib, Mary, because I feel like he's really got the bit between his teeth, and he's one of the competitors that you don't want to face. I totally agree. He's very much a dark horse, and he has such a strong game face, and just like, he likes to psych people out. Okay, repping Dragon and Nitro on the Industry Alliance, and of course he's one of Arc'teryx's main men. Highlights from his run. I'm going to call that a crippler because it was out of transition.
Yes. No, I think that's accurate. I think, you know, Jared often, or always really, taking very consequential and risk-taking lines, doing nice, wheelie, holding the back three together right there. That was nice.
But coming straight into that wall that we saw Sage Kotsenberg hit on his first run. So Jared Elston, big slam in there for him. Just struggling to put that top section down. He wasn't happy with that, was he? Okay, back up at the top, Nils Mindnich. He had that Boa dialed in award for taking on Beggars Canyon, a 360 on the east side of the venue in qualies. And then that perfect switchback 7. We saw him take on Chad's Gap with a switchback 7. Didn't quite make it last year, but he's one of those riders who could really employ switch riding to impress the judges here. At the moment, though, taking on this Finn that's already had a bit of work put through it.
Yeah, taking that known line, but a new takeoff and a beautiful back 1 right there. That was just picture perfect.
He looked like he was picking up some cheese and biscuits the way he grabbed the tail, didn't he? It was so precise and
Cabot
dainty.
cheese. And then a great switch backside 3, and he continues down the line switch right now. I mean, such a powerful rider on his non-dominant.
I mean, how much powder have you got to ride to be prepared to waste it learning to ride switch like this? He's actually on that Salomon Assassin Pro 159, which is a directional twin. It's got a little more lift on the front. Switchback 1 to come back round to Goofy.
Nice little method right there. That was picture perfect.
The judges are going to be twisting their moustaches to this one, aren't they? Absolute connoisseurs of backcountry technical freestyle right now.
And again, you see him taking that similar line as others have taken before, but now diverging to that rider's right side of this cliff band.
This is starting to get heavy. Big finish from Nils Mindnich. Stay on your feet. Just manages it off his heels.
Navigating down through the trees at the bottom.
Look at this. That was adventure boarding. There's no way he knew where he was going down there. Not that blind. Fantastic run from Nils Mindnich. A little bit of everything in there, Mary.
Yeah, completely. I think the switch riding we saw at the top was really beautiful. His landings were really clean, and a little cliff drop at the bottom.
Okay, let's see what the judges think of this one.
Got builds on.
Oh, yeah. How'd you go?
One thing I think about Nils is that he's another rider that makes things look much more effortless than they actually are in terrain like this. And I give him credit too. He's utilizing the intel as, like Mikey did before him, and then also kind of taking a different different takeoff, maneuvering a little bit out of the way, which is something that judges really do want to see.
Well, so far we haven't seen anything bigger than a 3, and already Nils has got a switchback 3 in there.
Yeah, the technical prowess, infusing that, going to be good for his mark.
Okay, this is, for me, this feels like the first big rangefinder for the judges, testing where these scores can go. 88 for Nils Mindnich, a real indication that they like what they're seeing there. 70 points for Jared Elston.
Jesus
Plenty
Christ.
of work.
What'd you fucking do?
Back 1, where Torsten went, and switch back 3. Switch back 1 to like method.
Nice.
And kind of just had one of these like.
You saw Jared's heart sink as he was telling him that, didn't you?
Back to work.
Well, I think one thing to notice too is that the riders from their finish corral have no view of what's going on hill. They can't see anything from down there.
Totally blind looking up into those trees. Okay, 4th of our quarterfinal matchups. This one, this is my pick of the bunch, I think. Torgeir Bergrem versus Travis Rice. 2 very similar and at the same time contrasting styles.
Oh yeah, Torgeir, I feel like, really put his stake in the ground with his movie this past year, Temple of the Dog, and is basically saying, I'm here to stay. And what better way to build on that momentum by going against Travis Rice in natural selection?
Yep, Travis with one of the best records in the natural selection matchups. Incredibly difficult to beat, especially in a venue like this. But if one man can do it, it could be the Norwegian. So again, looking for rich pickings down this fin. Such a good nose here. They're loving this one.
Oh, a beauty backside 360, maintaining so much speed in the landing right there.
The judges will be celebrating that because they're getting to judge back-to-back backside 360 tail grabs. Back 7 though.
There we go, opening up the big spins.
Big statement there from Torgeir Bergrem. As he makes his way out into the flats, he's got a little bit of time to think about what he's going to do down at the bottom here and make sure that he's in the right place, because you're going to get that bowling ball effect now when everything is blind.
Beautiful method.
Signature of the Norwegian.
I love a course that allows us to see a excellent 720 into a floaty method.
What more do you want? It's all right there. Okay, so he knows there's tracks here. He's just slowing himself down a touch. He's really close to that slab that Sage took out, just above it.
Okay, looking for a new cliff to drop over here. Executing perfect, riding away.
Yep, he's got it all there. A really nice, solid run. Oh, and he's blown past the traverse tracks by miles. He's just, where are you going? Oh, he's just realised now he's looked back up. Oh, I'm down in the flats. Hey, enjoy them while you can.
Yeah.
It's epic down here. The snow's good.
Couple more powder turns. Call for a pickup.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, isn't it? There's no skidoos here. That is going to be a long trudge back up to the finish area for Torgeir Bergrem. Okay, your reigning natural selection tour champion, Travis Rice, getting ready to drop for the first time here in Mosquito Bowl. And he is a formidable competitor in this situation. He's the one man you do not want to face.
Okay, starting off right there, popping around a back 180 into switch.
Huge cab 5 right into that pocket.
Wow.
How many times have we seen him open up jumps like that?
And crazy, I mean, heading to this area of the whole venue. Oh my God, what?
What?
Wow.
Double backflip out of that wind lip.
Oh my God. Okay, so much speed. It looks like he's on the moon right here.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, that was a statement.
Pop round back 1, couple of switch powder turns, cab 5 into a double backflip, and you can see him. He's mind riding already. He knows what's coming.
Wow. Let's not waste any time right now.
Okay, Travis warming up for what's about to come. He's had his pause between the top and bottom sections of this run. It's time to get stuck back in now.
Oh, beautiful backside 180 right there. That was stunning. I mean, okay, this is a benchmark run right now.
Switchback one with a little poke in there.
And now navigating his way back toward that corral. That was a massive run.
Imagine taking a rider of Torgeir Bergrem's caliber and taking him to school. That's exactly what Travis has done there. Torgeir's run was epic. You talked about it. What more can you ask for? A backside 720 and a method.
Beat toward the finish.
Yes, you did.
All in good fun.
He's still waist deep in some British Columbian powder.
Oh, wow.
How brilliant.
You know, I think when we watch Travis ride in these things, he is so strategic. His riding just seems like, you don't want to say planned out because obviously there's extemporaneous that's happening there, but like so nailed to a T on what he wants to do to show that he's here to play.
Well, if you ever needed proof that no one's laying up here, that everyone's showing all of their cards from the off, it's in these two runs. Torgeir Bergrem, big back three tail grab.
That angle is just awesome. It really shows the scale and just such a beautiful landing. You see his back leg just adjust right there.
Downhill takeoff, leaning towards his toes. He had so little purchase to get the traction into that back seven, but somehow he manages it.
Of course, kicking the foot, letting the hoof breathe there, just awesome. And into just some proper turns before a little bit of pause on top of the cliff band.
It's a beautiful feature, but just exactly what you said there, Mary. He slowed it down. Travis is pinned top to bottom.
That's what's so hard is like even those are tiny windows that open up the door for your comparison. Windows that open up the door. That's a great phrase right there, but it's what it is.
Well, there it is. It holds on to that cab five. So close to losing this one, but again, if anyone's going to save it, it'll be Travis, and now he's just pinned.
And the double backflip, I mean, that was just like, you know, why go for a single, but he misses the grab.
I don't think that's going to hurt him too badly, to be honest, Mary.
You know that he's not going to be happy about that, though.
Backy. First track double backy, and then a big, beautiful backside 180 melon.
Wow. And then, of course, into the switch back one.
And it wasn't that big, but he timed that grab and the poke. He made it all fit.
Yep. Finished, ready for scores.
How about you? Back three into the panel. Back seven the window.
Torgeir Bergrem, 82. Travis, first man into the 90s. 93 for Rice. That is 11 points for Torgeir to make up, and it's not like Torgeir fell anywhere.
No, he had one of the highest scores of the round so far.
He's gonna need something special. That's backing Torgeir into a corner is probably the best thing for us as viewers now.
It is. Yes, that's something. You never really want to back any Norwegian into a corner. I think that never goes well. So we're going to see some, I think, really explosive riding from Torgeir.
Yeah, you'll see that alter ego with the axe and the pointy helmet come out. Okay, working in the backcountry, safety is always paramount, and that is why Natural Selection have teamed up with Backcountry Access. Take a look at this on snow safety.
Probably my favorite place to snowboard in the world is the BC backcountry, and it's got everything. Coastal ranges, big glaciated benches that kind of connect range to range, and then as you get more into the interior, you have these steep, jagged mountains with boulders and pillow fields everywhere, and that is Revelstoke.
Whenever you're going out in the backcountry, we have a list of things that can hurt you, and those include, first and foremost, avalanches. A close second would be tree well hazards. The difference between the backcountry and a traditional ski resort is that when you're at a resort, the ski patrol has done a great job of marking all the issues that can come up and where to go and how not to get lost.
For anyone that wants to get into the backcountry, the first thing I would say is just take an AST1, which is an entry-level avalanche course that'll get you the basics. It'll teach you how to use your gear. It'll teach you how to rescue someone from an avalanche. It'll teach you how to read terrain safely as you move through the mountains.
The more you know, the more places you can go.
I'd say the first most important thing you should do before you go into the backcountry, inspect everyone's gear. Everyone's transceiver should be on, inspect the probes, inspect the shovels, your gear needs to be dialed. It's really important when you go out with the crew that everyone there is keen to learn. You might be the most experienced person on the crew, but at least that way you know if you're the one in an incident, you can rely on those other people to do the right thing and to get you out of there safely.
It might seem like a long road, but it's worth it. To some people, it's everything.
Remember that we're all true to this, we're all obsessed with this because it's awesome. Take the necessary courses, avalanche courses, first aid courses you need, but I would highly recommend experiencing the backcountry if you haven't.
There is simply no way that natural selection could happen without the support of backcountry access. All of their gear, especially the float avi packs, are supplied to the crew who are out here for weeks before the event takes place, making sure that these venues are safe and ready for competitors. So here are the women's semi-finals. Hayley Langland versus Marion Haerty, and then Jamie Anderson going up against Mary Rand. And I feel like these could go either way on the strength of, like, obviously on paper you have favourites, Mary, but on the strength of the riding yesterday, it's anyone's game.
Oh, completely. I already feel like I'm scooting toward the edge of my seat right now. I think this is a heavy lineup, and I'm very, very excited.
Okay, Hayley Langland is up first. She's going to drop in, going up against one of the Chamonix locals, Marion Haerty, former Freeride World Tour champion. Tells you everything you need to know about her style of riding. Did come through border cross racing, though, from her home resort of Chamroos. And you can see that beautiful edge control, but she's worked so hard over the last few years to get those freestyle smarts in. But Hayley, repping the Oakleys, you can see a little bit of that cloud sat in the valley, but it's not touching the Mosquito Bowl.
Hayley dropping in 3, 2,
So Hayley going over the edge. First of the women to drop here at the Yeti Natural Selection Tour Finals.
Hayley coming off such momentum from yesterday's quarterfinals. You know, she had the highest score of the day, won the new Skidoo, and she's just gaining momentum overall. I think the backcountry every year. Look at her navigating this spine with so much grace right there.
It's beautiful. There's not much difference between the way Torsten rode that opening line and the way Hayley's ridden that. Just so smooth.
Yeah, that was incredibly authoritative, and I think that's something that really is going to win points with the judges because this is such an on-sighting heavy event today.
And there's a lot of talk about the fact that at many venues you can watch everyone else go down and you get a feel for it. The riders at the top can't see that because of that bowling ball effect. They can't see what's going on further down the face. You just pop out on spots like this. So very, very blind riding.
Oh my gosh, almost getting that 5 around, but then just...
She was going 3 and she snapped it to...
Yeah.
She had the aerial awareness to snap that to 5, but couldn't put it down.
That's her experience riding slopestyle, being so well versed in finding landings and her air awareness for sure.
Way, way bigger than I think she was expecting.
I think you're totally right. The thing to remember, though, even though that was a consequential fall, the run beyond that was so authoritative.
It's that classic, really fast, purposeful riding. She's kept her flow going top to bottom there. Apart from that single fall, it's a really, really strong run.
Yes.
And credo is our judging system. Creativity and risk are those top 2 categories.
Exactly, and an element where you're going to take a big risk, even if it doesn't go exactly how you planned, is not going to necessarily go unrewarded because it's going to be taken into consideration for that full appraisal of the top to bottom. And she really rode authoritatively during that.
Marion Haerty up at the top won't know it yet, but this is a chance for her. The door is open and Marion can put a score on the board here potentially, but wow.
And I think, as you mentioned, you know, with her roots in Chamonix, you know...
Blood nose.
Oh, goodness.
She really took that hit.
Still smiling.
I feel fine. Did you hit it? What did you do? I kneed myself in the face.
Oh. Wow.
Hayley Langland. She is pint-sized.
I don't think so.
But she's taken that slam like a heavyweight champ.
Maybe my lip a little bit, but
Yeah.
I think it's just mostly my nose.
Yeah, your lip and your nose, yeah.
Yeah.
incredibly calm about that.
Yes, judging from the way she came down after the ragdoll, you would not have known that she had just done one of the things that could be one of the most painful ways to injure yourself.
Well, we saw it last year with Travis, you remember. He said one of the biggest hits of his career.
Yeah.
He had a proper ragdoll. Hayley Langland taking a huge digger and getting straight back up and carrying on the run. Now, we talked about it. There is that instability, and it was a big one, so it will affect the score. But still, Marion Haerty, easily one of the most experienced when it comes to on-sighting lines. On the Freeride World Tour, you get no on-snow inspection. So out of the women's field, she's got the most experience when it comes to riding a face blind like this.
I was just thinking the same thing, Ed. I think, I'd wager that she has some of the most finesse experience on the tour in that sense.
And then, interestingly, she's actually taking her time. She's not as fast. So all of the riders using the Onyx backcountry maps last night after qualifiers to get a feel for this lovely back three.
Taking some speed off of that landing into this next bench section.
And coming out right out to the rider's right-hand side of the venue.
Okay, opportunity right here. Oh, but she kind of just goes over that.
Did you see that speed check on the top there? She second-guessed herself at the takeoff point and didn't get enough speed.
Well, as we mentioned, with Torstein's riding and the complexity of convex rollers and how sometimes it doesn't even come across necessarily through the screen quite as much as intimidating they are when you're actually riding them. When you can't see what's over that next bend, it's quite a gnarly situation.
So Marion Haerty's 2024 invite coming from that injury wild card from 2022. She sat out 2023.
Nice method right there.
So she's got to find something down here. I feel like her top section was quite light. She was a little bit hesitant. She needs a big feature here to really make the judges sit up.
Yeah, it felt a little bit of a rangefinder, getting her feet under her on this bowl.
Okay, she's on top of that cliff we saw Sage struggle with. We know that there's a bit of punchy, sporty snow on the landing under this one, and there's not much of it left. But she puts it down clean.
There we go, kicking a turn out. So yeah, definitely navigating a consequential cliff line right there, taking a little bit of hesitation at the top.
But cast your mind back and compare apples for apples, how smooth and direct Hayley was through that top section.
I think this is a definite nail biter because you have, like you said, the smooth and directness of Hayley, but then you also have the meticulous navigation that Marion did, which was quite effective. So what's going to weigh more heavily in their favor from the judges?
How was it? It was so sick, huh?
It was so sick!
The turns are nuts.
Oh, wow. I'm not in the competition. I'm in a video part, This is so sick. Oh.
How many of the riders have we heard say that? Epic snow, epic terrain. And I feel here, Hayley and Marion each playing each other at their own games. Hayley has this epic big mountain spine line to open.
That literally is a video shot right now. Like, that is incredible, beautiful.
And then coming into this, I think, backside three.
Yes, definitely over-rotated, still got it together, and perhaps if she hadn't landed in those tracks, she might have been able to ride it away.
Adjusted her shoulders incredibly, and then watch the heels get stuck in there, and that's where she gets the punch in the face from the kneecap, I think.
I give her props for being able to continue the run after that too, because that's a really gnarly thing to do.
Beautiful, beautiful light feet through that section. And then Marion gets straight onto this big nose here and goes for the 360, uses the freestyle.
Yes, and definitely a beautiful 360, a little bit of hesitation, off the top there, but really using a meticulous approach that, rewards the landing in that situation. Nice method right there, finding the popper and, really finding a nice line down the face.
And she got that little drop in there at the end.
So two kind of, similar philosophies, but totally different approaches.
I thought there was a little more speed, a little more purpose and intent at the top of Hayley's run, but I think that fall is going to cost her. We say that those don't come into it, but high-risk move as well, that 3 up at the top for Marion. 65 for Marion, 60 for Hayley. So, bit of work to do for Hayley Langland in run 2.
All right, so we're here with Haley Langland and Marion Hardy. Haley, a little bit of a scare there. How you feeling?
I'm good. I just kissed my face, my knee. Yeah, but it was so fun. Like, just the turns have been like insane. The snow's moving so good, and yeah, I'm super psyched to ride with Marion. She's making it real fun.
And Marion, you came down and you were just absolutely elated. You said it feels like you're in a video part.
Yeah, it looks like a game, you know, it's not a competition. I don't feel like I'm in a competition right now, right? Not at all. So nice. It's beautiful terrain, the view is beautiful, the sun is here, friends. Life is good.
Stoke is high up here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom, for a little bit of insight there from Marion Hardy and Haley Langland. Phenomenal conditions, and that is backed up by the runs that we're seeing here from the riders. Up at the top, we've got arguably one of the most experienced competitive snowboarders of all time in Jamie Anderson, up against a woman in, I think, one of her first ever competitions. There may be some banked slaloms and a couple of smaller rail comps from back in the day.
Definite rail dams back in the day that she just dominated, but now she is a backcountry powerhouse.
Okay, Mary Rand versus Jamie Anderson. And Jamie, repping Canoe and Union from the Industry Alliance. And you can see very clearly there on the Oakleys as well. She has ridden so beautifully through the qualifiers, the women's quarterfinals in Revelstoke. And now she drops in for the Selkirk Tangiers Heli Tenure finals here.
Gorgeous top run, just really beautiful turns. And again, keeping confidence and speed down that terrain, opening up this new line.
And that is way steeper than it looks there. Just opening it up and pointing it at Travis's double backflip hit.
Okay, can we just also mention how exciting it is to watch Jamie back in the backcountry after having her daughter Misty? I mean, so sick.
Beautiful tail grab there, fingertip control of that air.
She looks quite at home in this run right now.
So comfortable. When Jamie's relaxed and having fun, that's when she rides her best. You knew in the start gate at a slopestyle comp, if she was dancing and singing, you were going to get the best Jamie. And that's what I feel like. She's dancing through this run right now.
Oh, this is so cool. Opening up this entire new section of the bowl right now.
Look at
no
this.
hesitation.
Absolutely glorious backcountry snowboarding here with Jamie Anderson. Butter across the side of that nose.
Okay, so the one thing I will say is that was just glorious turns, but it was a large swath of area where there wasn't any opportunity to have any freestyle hits in it.
So she's going to get up on top of that cliff band that we've seen almost everyone getting drawn into. It's like a tractor beam sucking them into this lip.
Okay, virtually no hesitation. Looking like that was just the most casual walk in the park to drop that cliff.
She does look like she's walking the dog. She's out with Misty in the buggy, isn't she? I thought she was going to do a Torgeir then and blow through the traverse line. Jamie Anderson with the most beautiful relaxed run.
Yes.
You've got no sense of the tension and pressure that we see in riders like Jared Elston, for instance, who's deep in the heart of a competition.
Wow.
Jamie just super relaxed, out there free riding for the day.
All right, we are here with Jamie Anderson. Jamie, you just took your first run on that ridiculous zone called Mosquito. How do you feel about your run, and how's the snow?
Oh, I feel good about my run. Good to just dabble and feel it out. It's actually amazing. And yeah, snow's all time.
I think of all the NST events that I've done in the past, I don't know if I've ever seen the riders this hyped. What's the vibe between all the riders?
I feel like the vibe is pretty chill. It's like, I would say maybe a little bit on the more friendly side, which I think just brought the nerves down for everyone. Pretty straightforward, still some convex roll, but it seems like everyone is rolling into their line pretty confident.
Nice. Congrats, Jamie.
Thank you.
It's one of the things we've heard from the top, Mary. A lot of the riders sharing data about their runs.
So fun.
Well, with this course being so blind, from the top you get a couple hits of who drops before you. From the bottom you see absolutely nothing. That beta and sharing of info is so valuable.
Well, confidence is at a premium today. The most valuable currency up at the top. Mary Rand had it in spades in qualifiers, but it didn't quite go her way on her first run. Let's take a look at the highlights.
Mary Rand, of course, was so dominant during that first day of quarterfinals on the women's side, and looks right now just using that backcountry experience she has to really power through that top first line.
Broke a bit of fresh trail down on the bottom section. Got hung up.
But navigating the rest of that, those pillows right there with a plum.
Oh, good. Snow is so good, hey?
Yeah.
Did you turn your GoPro off?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that like
Okay, let's take a look at Jamie's run. So heading far riders left here, off that little popper, and then just straight lining it into this.
I think Jamie rode so well. It was just, you know, immaculate riding to watch. Big tail grab right there. But I do think that there was a large area of her run where she was opening up new territory, but there weren't a lot of opportunities for her to really get those freestyle hits in. And that's going to open up opportunity for Mary on her second run.
Okay, judges' scores coming in.
Yeah, we're ready for scores.
Jamie on a 74, Mary on a 67. So that 74, it's an infinitely achievable target for Mary Rand on the strength of the riding that we saw in qualifiers in Revelstoke.
Oh, completely. I think that, you know, in Mary's highlights, we saw attacking more of that freestyle line. And so I think that that was rewarded. And there's really not that much room between them.
Okay. Plenty of pressure remains for the second runs in the men's quarterfinals and the women's semi-finals here at the Yeti Natural Selection Finals 2024. Take a breath, Mary. That was pretty impressive startup considering it was first runs for everyone.
Oh, completely. I think going into the next runs, it's anyone's game. And I know we tend to say that, but for real, now everyone has a little bit more experience on this face, whereas it was all blank canvas before. And I think we're going to see people raise it up to 11, even more than already.
Yeah, the one person I felt like he might be slightly out of reach of Torgeir Bergrem was Travis Rice, but we'll see how that plays out in the second run. Right now, though, we're going to take a look at the origins of this great land that we are competing in. This is our First Nation piece.
It's crucial that we learn the origins of our lands in order to honor those nations who've lived off it since time immemorial. We would like to acknowledge the land on which we gather is the territory of the Sinaiks Nation and is home to many diverse Indigenous peoples. We honor their connection to the land and rivers and respect the importance of the environment to our strength as a community. Located at the confluence of the Columbia River and its adjacent tributary, the Silkwatit River, Revelstoke was originally inhabited by this mighty nation. This land is considered unceded or unsurrendered territory, meaning that it was never formally given away by the Sinaiks Nation, nor did they willingly abandon their territory, and is still owned and occupied by them today. Each nation across our continent, known as Turtle Island, speak their own language and is culturally unique. But each believes deeply in the connectiveness of the environment and all living things. The spiritual connection with snowboarding and the mountains is undeniable. For centuries, these First Nation peoples sent their young into these same mountains to connect with nature, fend for themselves, and to learn to live off the land. For over 2 decades, the Indigenous Life Sport Academy has been using this ideology to connect Indigenous youth with their natural environment through the life sport of snowboarding. The Natural Selection Tour represents another opportunity to bring our community together to grow both spiritually and culturally. As we forge the path ahead, it is vital that we look to our past and respectfully acknowledge those that came before.
Safety is our #1 concern with these events, and Onyx gives a number of tools that help keep our riders, production crew, and staff safe in the backcountry. Onyx Backcountry also makes it really easy for all of the teams within Natural Selection to share information rather effortlessly. With like literally a click of the button, we can share an entire project file, brings everyone up to speed. I think it's an amazing tool to facilitate safe adventure.
Check.
Yeah, I got eyes on you.
Hey, what's up everyone? It's Travis and Cam here. You might have already heard, but we dropped an amazing marketplace app called Sendy last year. It's buy, sell, or rent adventure sports gear anywhere in North America.
I'm super honored and excited to join Ride Snowboards. It's a team of mentors, close friends, and amazing snowboarders that I look up to. So I've been testing all the boards in the line, working on some subtle tweaks to get the right technology that I want to ride this year, and it's been awesome to switch things up and have some new energy under my feet. Yeah, for checking the course today, I think what I have, I got like couple boards in the arsenal that'll work well, and maybe switch from one to the other depending on how it goes. But yeah, definitely excited. You want something pretty stiff and easy to land on, but also floaty and fun to ride.
Blake Paul's riding's actually been described as a melody, so building him a snowboard is a bit like creating a Stradivarius, I imagine.
Yeah, how do you make a snowboard for a guy that has bird bones? You know, it's definitely a challenge.
You make it heavy. Okay, before we get stuck back into the action, we're going to take a quick recap of Jules and the road to Revelstoke with Rivian. We had 4 matchups in the men's, 2 in the women's, which saw 6 riders advance to the qualifiers. And there were some fantastic battles.
Oh, another one.
First night in Tokyo, got in Japan today. Just got a couple of the crew gonna roll out to Miyoko.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Made it to Switzerland. Here we are. Super fired up to see what these guys do with the terrain here in Andermatt. 3, 2, 1, drop.
It's a big morning here in Crested Butte, Colorado. We're in downtown Crested Butte at the beautiful Scarp Ridge Lodge. We're about to load up in the Tucker. This is beautiful country.
Dude, choking on it.
We are here at Crested Butte Mountain Resort. We did the Austen Sweetin versus Red Gerard duel. Now they want to come up and help the girls out. So we got a crew up here.
It looks awesome. It looks fun. Look at this. Are you kidding me?
on site in Durango, Colorado. We're expecting a ton of snow.
It's so good to see you. This is like so amazing.
Purgatory, treating us well.
Man, that's super deep. Wow.
We got an incredible matchup here at Red Mountain. It's one of the most anticipated duels because of the riders who are involved. We are packing up right now. NST duels, we done.
Gonna rally this up to Yeti Natural Selection Revelstoke, and we'll keep it rolling.
Okay, the duels took us to Revelstoke, and then Revelstoke brought us here to quarterfinals for the men's. Torsten Horgmo, Sage Kotsenberg. That one, a lot of work for Sage to do, a lot closer between Austen, Sweetin and Mikey Ciccarelli. Jared Elston was some work to do to catch up with Nils Mindnich, who had a near perfect first run, but Travis Rice put a heavy dent into Torgeir Bergrem first run.
Yeah, the way that things shook down, and especially Travis, I mean, that was a huge showing of how good he is at reading terrain. But Torsten Horgmo, this kid, you know, he got his chops in the slopestyle courses, but he's transitioned to the backcountry with someone that is very precise on his landings, and he knows how to seek out terrain to get his board in the air.
Okay, Torsten dropping in for second run with a 20-point lead on Sage Kotsenberg. Surprised a lot of people in Alaska with his ability to read terrain first time. Threw down some big sevens there. And he knows, I think he knows with Sage, he can't rest on his laurels here.
Here he goes, Torsten. Nice 540 to set up here as a 1,000,000-mile-an-hour ride-out switch into this saddle. So already he's got a nice 540, and then he's looking to butter into a nice back three, floaty Torsten Horgmo style, harking back to, you know, the Devin Walsh when everyone just wanted to copy Devin Walsh's style. Torsten over here in the flats. And this is the time, the reflection time of the run where you can kind of just cruise.
Well, it gives us that lovely idea now that those first runs were rangefinders, and this is the business end.
They're a little 180 to 180 back through. Torsten setting up here this one runway that he put in before. A nice little method. And then down here is kind of where I think there's still some, I guess, I would say like additions to their runs and technicality. Those cliffs, they're not very big, but you can get buttery technical on them as Torsten finds his way to this little goat path right here. But so, I think there's opportunity there on that cliff face. I mean, they're not very big, but if you bring in some technical buttery tricks that, you know, Torsten knows how to do that stuff easily.
That's it, isn't it? It's the first run, very, very light. He chucked in a couple of features where he knew he was going to be able to get work done.
It's like just having the blackout syndrome as soon as he dropped in, and just, you know, that big frontside 540 to get that run started. Landing, switch, and powder going that fast is just a recipe for a violent ragdoll and displacement of anything that isn't strapped down on you.
Well, for anyone except the very best riders in the world. Torsten, a phenomenal run there. This is shaping up. It's got the same recipe, the same ingredients that we saw for Alaska in 2022. Great riders, incredible terrain, and perfect snow. Sage Kotsenberg dropping in. Didn't quite go his way in run one, though. Let's see what he's got for run two.
Now you gotta remember, this is a matchup of two slope-style champions. Sage, obviously the winner of the 2014 Olympic Games in Sochi. But look how big that Indy transfer was, and just, this is too much speed.
He didn't make the same mistake as first time where he came up too short, but then he's overshot and overcooked it.
Hike out.
So a big fall up at the top there, costing Sage Kotsenberg. Oh man, that run is so fun.
I mean, it really is about reading the terrain here as well. You can launch off of something and then suddenly, you know, you've gone twice as big as you think you've gone, and you're just running into an uphill. So there's a lot to take in. You can see right here, just the senses just going overtime here as Torsten, that combo.
Crossing track switch as well. And then that half cab butter to back 3.
How'd it go?
It was good.
Kind
of scratched up top a bit. So 81 for Torsten. He's added another 4 points to that first run score. Sage, nothing doing. So very cut and dry in the first of these quarterfinals.
Always.
Torsten Horgmo has a place in the semis.
Very centered, Torsten Horgmo as well. Sage is over there panting, and Torsten is just very, very centered, very comfortable with where he is.
Okay, Torsten waiting to see who's going to join him in the first of those semi-finals. Will it be Austen Sweetin, or will it be Mikey Ciccarelli? Sweetin, again, another one of those riders who didn't get his first run down, so the pressure is heaped on the Mount Baker local.
What I can say about Austen, knowing him really well, it's hard to contain his stoke, which in a situation like this, that means it's easy to blow past where your optimal landing zones are. But Austen's got some of the best landing gear in the business.
Video part start there, back 3 into that beautiful drop.
Here's Sweetie, sets up with a frontside 180, switch back 180. High speed butter. He's a little bouncing up and down, like they call him the Froth Goblin. It's no joke.
His abs, you can see the joy radiating out of his snowboarding right now. He's having so much fun.
He's looking for another opportunity. Back 7, somehow wheelie bars out of that. Actually gets the grab as well. So Austen Sweetin having a great run here from top to bottom.
Okay, so versus Mikey Ciccarelli's first run, really, really smooth, really beautiful, but nowhere near as technical, nowhere near as many features as we've seen from Austen. And he's not done.
Yeah, and I think Sweetie too, like you just watch the way that he flows through the line.
Right off the top of that drop as well.
Throw the brakes on before it becomes a pine tree hood ornament. And then down here through the last couple mushrooms before he gets to the goat trail that heads back. Don't blow past that, Sweetin. Those little legs will have to post hole. You'll be post holing up to your neck.
How tall is he?
Waist.
Okay, he's definitely missed that traverse track. Oh, he's found his way in with a method, though.
But it was just the comfortability up top. I mean, he's really found his way in snow. He started off as being like this slope-style rail trip kid, and then he just went to Baker and put in his time, and he's very comfortable with terrain that's high speed and huge.
Well, think of Velvet Castle, the standout descents from him and Travis in Sequencer, released at the start of the winter, and those runs are so long, and you saw that in that last run. Like, he didn't let up. The intensity was there from top to bottom. Okay, it's the turn now, the Whistler local, Mikey Ciccarelli, one of Canada's finest. I think Mary said he's been mentored by Canadian royalty, backcountry royalty.
Absolutely. A little bit different line for Ciccarelli here. This is nice. I like to see a little bit more of an open approach.
He's going for that cab 5 hit from Travis.
More like a backside 270, but doubles that with a huge ollie.
He went twice as far on the rebound, didn't he?
Here he comes into this big launcher. Back 7 melon, perfectly clutched all the way through. Ciccarelli looking like he's putting together some nice combos and into the open section here.
And that side hit becoming a magnet for the freestyle oriented.
Oh, yeah.
Travis, Jamie, and now Mikey hitting that. So there's a good highway into that hit.
Now we find him meandering in the flats as he's looking for this next opportunity here to chuck himself. But you can see right there, some of the tracks below, there is a feature coming up here, and he's telegraphing where he's going. I don't know who he's telegraphing to.
Imagine how much time has expanded here for him now. He's like, the judges want me to do something. Beautiful front 3.
Nice frontside 360, gets the grab in there. Here's a little backside hip for him. A little method, gets about 7 inches off the ground. But still, it's all about that overall run. Little butter 360. This is a little bit of the icing on top of the cake. Work's been done up top.
That's exactly it. He got so much done up top, but then that run just peters out on the left-hand side at the bottom.
Hey, that backside 720 that Ciccarelli did up top was no joke. That was clutched all the way through. But Sweetin, this alley-oop 360 right here, he comes off that little wind lip, and the way that he comboed that into the next couple features, that was huge because that's reading terrain. Switch back 180. That wind lip just looks like a dream. I would love to ragdoll off that.
We said it at the start, this is actually part of Selkirk Tangiers heli tenure. You can come and ride this.
Look at that little sweeper back 7. And then comes in a little bit hot into that pocket and has to throw the brakes on because there's a full-on tree right there.
Watching that, I just think there's too many features in there. We've got that back 3 and then Mikey bounces. It's not that clean to open. The back 7, as you said, is beautiful.
Yeah, that was money. Gets the swing around on that last rotation, fully clutched all the way through, points it out. I'm gonna do a frontside 360 off that diving board, nails that. And that was essentially the meat and potatoes of that run. He kind of threw together a couple little ollies and a little 6-inch high method there, but damage was done up top.
For me, it's 3 features versus 5.
And really, the overall reading of that run, I will give the advantage to Sweetin there with being able to read that terrain up top.
It worked.
Okay, it's super tight from the first scores. Austen looking to overhaul Mikey's first run.
Austen 75, repeat 75. Mikey 78, repeat 78.
The back 7 working super hard for Mikey Ciccarelli.
I think that was a good call, though. It was pretty tight. It wasn't like a huge span of points. 3 points separated them, and I think that was about right.
And what it's telling us as well, both of those score bettered their first run scores. So as we get the tracks in, as we see the confidence, the speed, and the tricks increasing, then we're going to see bigger scores. Okay, back up to the top. Jared Elston under the pump. He has to get some work done here. Nils Mindnich comboing him with that first run score, an 88. So Jared Elston has got to put down a big, big run here.
Jared could be Nils's worst nightmare on this run.
Okay,
Arc'teryx rider coming in, switch here.
And lining up same here as Travis and Mikey.
Let's see how much speed he carries into this. Goes into the Barrett roll, dumping it over 540 and coming out with a lot of speed.
The chicane, I think it was called back in the 90s when we saw it a couple of times. Straight out of Travis's playbook with the double backing.
Wild double backflip. Jared just letting it breathe out here. So that was 2 moves in succession, very rapid succession up top.
Well, he's seen Travis's score. He'll know that Travis got a 93 on this side of the course.
He kind of has studied at the University of Rice. I mean, it's definitely, like, they both have the same intensity in their riding. Jared is unapologetically coming for the win out here.
He made finals against Sage in 2022, and he's been fighting hard ever since.
Coming in here to the bottom section. So there's a lot going on in this run. Jared, he knows that he's got to stack it up because, I mean, Nils will come through and just, it's possible that Nils could throw a switchback 9. He's just so comfortable hitting stuff, switch stance in powder.
Well, we've seen 3 very big scores for Mikey, Jamie, and Travis come out of this line. Jared needs a big score here, so he's gone to the well.
Yeah, and it's, look, this battle is setting up like the quarterback of the football team in high school up against the physics nerd. Like, that's literally what we have set up here. And it's 2 completely different approaches to riding. Nils being much more technical, much more precise.
Oh, man.
But that was a solid beatdown of the course.
I don't think I've seen a chicane at natural selection before.
I definitely haven't seen one. To set that and just dump it off, it's kind of a faith fall, really.
Well, you can see from up here, Nils Mindnich would have had a perfect view of Jared Elston falling into the abyss. He will have seen very little else of that run. So a lot of pressure on him for the second and clutch run.
So as we see here in this highlight meaning that Nils probably had an aggressive fall at some point in his run.
Back 5 up top into
double cork, back 10 to full hot tub. But that hit right there is beginning to form itself perfectly for those huge consequential moves.
So switch back 5 up top into back double 10.
That's what you got to do.
So we can assume, as you said, Todd, that Nils isn't going to better his score. So it's an 88 for Nils is the ceiling.
I wanted to like do.
Did Jared manage to milk more than 88 out of that left-hand side?
Like switch back 5.
That is going to be the big question here, and these judges have their work cut out. Two completely different styles of riding. There's that come in switch, dump it over forward. It's a 540-degree rolled out move into this wild double backflip, huge out into the flats.
Just holds on to it as well. Cross court front 3.
And goes alley-oop back 3 down there at the bottom. So Jared's run, top to bottom, superior than Nils's.
All right, we're ready for scores. Dude, good job.
So an 86 for Jared Elston, but the 88 from run 1 for Nils Mindnich will see him through. A very, very tight battle in the end. Todd, right way?
I'm watching the face on Jared Elston right now.
Thanks.
Definitely frustration. You can see they're competitors. There's some heat, some spice right there, but hey, this is competition.
Ooh, there it was, that sideways glance.
Yeah, it's rough. When you think you've nailed it in a run and the judges don't go your way, well, that's competition for you.
Yeah, we've seen it a couple of times. I think probably most prominently with the duel against Gigi Ruff. Jared Elston really took that one to him.
Hey,
but
take it out in your video part.
Back up at the top, these two Leviathans, Torgeir Bergrem and Travis Rice under pressure. Let's take a look at their second runs.
So Torgeir dropping first. Absolute Norwegian powerhouse. His first run, insane. Second run, kind of looks like he got hooked up on the takeoff. Then throws a big nollie front down here towards the bottom. But up top, it just started off poorly.
Well, you know as well, he knew he was up against a 93-pointer, which is close to perfection.
You've got to go for it.
Yeah. Zero pressure on Travis for his second run, that meant. And it's, you know that Travis is just collecting data with a run like this.
Yeah, and that's dangerous, is, you know, Rice being in a position where he can go out and just do some spelunking on this course. But you see right here, Trav just landing so flat. So even Supermen do fall from time to time.
I often think, though, with Trav, the time that he makes a mistake is when there is no pressure. A lack of pressure is his kryptonite. He needs, diamonds are created under pressure, and that's the way it is with Travis's best runs.
You looked for a second like you had it.
Yeah, because I was gonna try and go this way. Maybe I should have tried to go Jared chicane. Might have been a better move.
See my front foot though? Yeah, it kind of looked like you landed.
Oh, the second front foot.
Oh no, I didn't see that one.
I went front foot off the cornice, off the top there.
Copy.
What'd you do? Went down?
I tried to put in a new line and.
Oh, to the very top, to the cornice. Yeah.
And I got there, but like there is some tranny off that cornice.
Right. But
another 50 feet.
Yeah. Maybe now there's a tracking.
There's a tracking now. It's psycho though.
Ready for scores?
Yeah. Torgeir.
Okay, judges' scores coming in. Those second runs both scratched for Torgeir and Travis. So the highest score of the day so far, that 93, will see Travis into the semi-finals, where he will face none other than Nils Mindnich. That is a mouth-watering prospect.
We are here with Travis Rice. Trav, highest score of the day, 93. You just eliminated Torgeir Bergrem. You're heading to semifinals.
Yeah,
really didn't think that it was going to run like that this morning. I mean, I'm psyched to get another run. Venue's running so good right now. Yeah, I mean, Torgeir's one of the best that does it. Psyched to be moving on. Yeah.
You're going to be paired up head-to-head going against Nils Mindnich. How much does that worry you?
I mean, the guy's a surgeon. I know that it's going to have to still be all gas. Get past that guy. He's a savage.
And how's the course running with more tracks in it now? Can you still find some fresh out there?
Yeah, I really don't think the tracks are that big a deal at this point. If anything, some of those tracks are pretty helpful on the long traverses. But yeah, Nils is a formidable rider, one of the better switch riders there is. So better do something cool.
Well, congrats, brother. Well done. Study up. Get back up there.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, T-Bird. Thank you, Travis. And as we heard there, Travis using that second run as data gathering, just adding to the library of hits he has. Right now, we're going to take a look at how Arc'teryx has kept the natural selection crew safe and warm in the backcountry.
The Natural Selection Crew is a collection of professionals who are passionate about snowboarding in the outdoors. Our work is extremely physical, taking on all the elements that Mother Nature provides, which is why we are so fortunate to have Arc'teryx as our official outerwear partner. Arc'teryx is inspired by the mountains. It's their birthplace and reason for being. As a result, Arc'teryx products have proven performance and durability. Embraced by our Natural Selection crew, as well as some of our riders, such as Elena Height, Jared Elston, and Robin Van Jen. Furthermore, Arc'teryx is committed to sustainability through its Rebird initiative that promotes a circular economy versus a linear production model. With natural selection, Mother Nature is the main character, and we are so grateful to have Arc'teryx support us on our outdoor adventures.
Arc'teryx, some of the best gear in the business. Now it's time for the women's semi-final second runs. That first matchup, Hayley Langland versus Marion Haerty. Marion with just a tiny bit of an edge there, but that one it feels could go either way. Same with Jamie and Mary, Todd.
Yeah, and I think, you know, Hayley had some kind of mistakes on run number one, and now she has that intel, and maybe we'll dial it down a little bit so she can find some of the transitions in the landings.
So very, very close after those first runs. It'll be interesting to see which lines each of them choose here. Hayley and Marion. Little fist bump up at the top there. Let's take a look at the highlights of their second runs.
And that's interesting, you know, where are they going to go? Because obviously on Hayley's first run, she did that back three that was a little bit too big, and it ended up tossing her into a 540, but her air awareness from her slopestyle runs definitely kind of kept her from really getting mangled. But you can see here, opens up a new line, gapping over some open features. Oh, and right there.
Marion going back to that back three that she had on her first run, but unable to stomp it this time.
Bit of a belly flop up top. So it'll be interesting to see how these judges shake this out.
Yeah, both scores almost certainly sitting lower than those first run scores, which will mean that Hayley's lack of a second run score will hand the victory to Marion, but we'll wait for confirmation from the judges. Yep, so a 56 and a 53 respectively, which means that the highest score is Marion Haerty. She will progress to the finals.
Hell yeah. Go get the gold.
Difficult one for Hayley. You wonder how much that knee to the face shook her from run one.
I mean, it was probably enough so that she, you know, she was second guessing maybe just launching into oblivion off of some of these hits.
Okay, time to find out who is going to join Marion Haerty in the final. And this one, again, can swing either way. Jamie Anderson looking supremely confident on her first drop.
I mean, Jamie is just so casual with the way that she approaches. It's very much her personality comes out in her riding, probably more than any other rider that I've actually ever seen. I mean, it's just, she's just flowy. It's just like things are happening naturally. She's not forcing anything. As she comes in here for her second run.
Is she going to take that hit that we've seen Mikey, Travis, and Jared hit? No, she's coming around the side on this, another fresh spine. Look at that.
She's just looking for some power to ride. So Jamie
cleaving that spine to bits.
High speed as well. She's coming over here into this big backside hit for her.
Going to put a fresh track on it as well.
Frontside 360.
So Jamie, another. They're just really, really relatable runs, aren't they? I'd say relatable, but it's beautiful snowboarding, the kind that you want to do when you mind ride something.
Yeah, and I mean, you made a good point earlier in the broadcast. It's like, this is all accessible. If you want to go there, you can heli to this terrain. I mean, you don't have to go 80 feet on a double backflip, but you can definitely experience this. And watching Jamie come into some of these features, like, these are all the features that we would want to hit. A little stale fish, tail tap.
Don't forget you can mind ride it on Onyx backcountry as well before you go. Save your pennies for the heli and then mind ride it first. Beautiful back one off the corner of that mushroom.
Backside 180, and now into the bottom portion of this. This is kind of where the features run out a little bit.
Decent switch riding as well. It's one of the things that we haven't seen in the women's side of the draw that often. So a couple of big turns linked switch there into a half cab.
I will say that I think that she's, like, her casual style of riding has maybe left the door open a little bit wider than she would have liked.
Do you think, I mean, we often say that with Mikkel. Like, it makes it look a little bit too easy sometimes.
I kind of feel like, you know, Jamie could have had something bigger as far as airtime goes in there, because Mary Rand has got that backflip on lock. And if she finds a place to have like a spectacular air show, it may be enough to sway the judges in her favor.
Well, we've seen it. You know you've got that break glass in emergency run down the left-hand side of the course with two big hits in it. If Mary Rand wants to go there, she knows there's a big point run waiting.
Yeah, we're going to see here straight away which side that she's going to decide to take. You know, Jamie did open up. We talked about the credo, the creativity, and, you know, the overall impression. That's, Jamie kind of moved into a section that no one had really ridden, so it does play to some of the scoring criteria. However, Big Air Mare can definitely bring some points, you know, and it's just the wow factor, and that goes into the overall impression.
Okay, repping the North Face as one of our industry alliance. She's coming down into that hit. Is it the backy?
Big backside 360 into the pocket, holding on to it, little tail wheelie down, and she is hauling.
And the intensity of this run is dialed straight up. You called it, Todd.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's different from, we saw Jamie Anderson kind of meandering, having a great time. Mary is riding with a lot more purpose. I mean, she knows that she's up against one of the greatest snowboarders that's ever lived.
So she's got, we've said it on this side though, the meat of this run is done. So she's got to make the most of the condiments and salad down at the bottom here.
Yeah, you don't make no friends with salad, I'm telling you right now. So as you're moving down here into the bottom, there's a couple more hits, couple more opportunities left. And you can just see, you're just following that goat path, and it's going to take her over into either where Jamie went off this little nub, or there's the diving board that's a little further down the ridge. Here she goes.
Little front Montoya style tweak on that.
Little pop there, and like maybe one more hit than Jamie gets in here too. Little drop. So I'm gonna say, just by virtue of that backside 360 that kind of put her into that pocket, that the advantage will be going to Mary right here as far as like airtime technicality. Now, the overall impression of this run, Jamie may have her there because, oh, and she's found herself here on a little bonus feature as well. A little 2-pack.
Oh, nicely done. Bit of hesitation up top, though.
Yeah, you want to keep your flow going, and that's definitely where Jamie has the, you know, the strength in her run, was that she just kept it flowing from top to bottom. Didn't stop, didn't take anything in. She just rolled with it.
Okay, let's take a look at this beautiful spine, and you watch the snow cleaving off the side of either side of that spine there.
That was very selfish, Jamie Anderson riding, as we saw that that GoPro view of her with the Hero 12. You know, she just wanted to do it for herself, wanted to go ride some POW right there. She's playing it her own way, and that's kind of always how she's run her program.
Let's not forget as well, if you've qualified through to this stage of the competition, then your place on next year's tour is secure.
So she's, you know, you can't discount the fact that she does a little 180 off of here.
And she stayed switch. It wasn't an instant revert.
But this backside 360 into this pocket, and just by virtue of how fast that run out was.
And put it into the judging criteria. Credo, the second category is that R is risk.
Yeah, she got very risky with that. No risk it, no biscuit. Here she goes, little Indy popping there. And then she gets those little bonus features down here at the bottom.
Yeah, there's no coasting. She hasn't given up on the run, has she? She's squeezing all of the juice out of the end of these features.
So, you know, she did pack the features in a little bit more densely than Jamie.
Tough one to call this, really tough.
Where the hip is. Yeah.
We're ready for scores.
My heart says Jamie, my head says Mary. So, Jamie Anderson on an 85. Mary Rand just clinches it. 2 points. It's change in the final numbers. Mary Rand makes her first ever Natural Selection Tour final at the first time of asking.
Mary Rand, 87 on the second run.
I get a free ribbon for that?
You're going to the final against Marion Harity. You're one step closer. What's going through your head right now, Mary?
Just fired up to ride again.
Congratulations to both of you two. We can't wait to see your finals runs. Let's get this thing going.
Oh, fuck yeah. Let's go. It's on.
Usually you're getting clubbed over the head by Jamie Anderson, but right now Mary joins an elite club of one of very few that say they've actually beat the queen of snowboarding.
Okay, time now to go up to Stan at the top of the hill. What's going on up there, Stan?
After run 2, a couple things are clear. 1, there's a reason they call Mikey Ciccarelli Psycho Mike. Okay, the kid just lived up to his namesake. He's moving on. On Jared Elston's side, when he came back up to the top, he said, well, I guess I'm going to have to go balls to the wall. He kind of did, went chicane into that double wildcat, not able to really sneak ahead of that big Nils score, though. Torsten Horgmo moving on. I think it's in the breathing, personally. And then, of course, you got Nils Mindnich, who at the top did a Matthew McConaughey impression, and now I can't get it out of my head. One thing is clear. He wants Travis's throat. Travis, his first run, standing up. He's moving on. Shaping up to be a heck of a day.
All right, all right, all right.
It certainly is. Thank you, Stan. Okay, now it's time to take a quick look at the Arc'teryx backyard selection. We invited everyone to submit their own natural selection runs, and this one came in from Gnarly Curtis, 11 years old. She wants to be on the NST one day.
This is so cool to see someone with their eyes on the prize at such a young age, already into the splits. I mean, splitboarding at that age, are you kidding me? Volunteering to walk up something when you're that young is incredible to me.
And she's, look at this, threading the needle.
Yes.
Girl's got skills. Okay, time to go for a quick break. When we come back, it's men's semis.
When the perfect power exists, it'll be fusion. A never-ending river of energy to tap into at any moment. It will be carbon-free, radioactive-free, and power everything on Earth. And when that perfect power exists, we'll deliver it with the flip of a switch.
Welcome back to the Yeti Natural Selection Tour finals here at the Selkirk Tangiers Heli Tenure. You want to get up into these mountains, you can. You can see the QR code down on the right-hand side. If you want to turn your gear into cash, you can buy, rent, or sell any kind of action sports gear on the Sendy app. Just scan that QR code. There's also exclusive NST merch on there. Okay, semi-finals time now. This is how they line up. Torsten Horgmo got the better of Sage Kotsenberg, and he faces Mikey Ciccarelli. And then we've got a great clash down there in Heat 2. Nils Mindnich, the switch technician, going up against the reigning Natural Selection Tour champion, Travis Rice. Sat next to me for these is Mary Walsh. Mary, which way are you swinging at the moment?
It is impossible to say, honestly. I mean, I think we have two kind of different generations represented here in both of these matchups, but these riders are cut from very similar cloths. We have precision, we have contest experience with all four of these riders, and none of these gentlemen are afraid to go big.
Yeah, and Mikey Ciccarelli, you might say he's got the least on-site experience, but his film parts of the last couple of years mean that he's definitely got the pedigree. I think he's spent enough time out here.
I agree. I mean, I think especially his second run of men's quarterfinals, he looked like a natural in natural selection.
Oh, check you out. Okay, kicking off with these first runs, and Torsten will drop first. And we're taking a look at the highlights of both of these runs. So Torsten breaking trail out on the right-hand side, butter into that back three and then dropping down quickly.
You know, look at that blind butter back 180 into that, off that roller right there. I mean, that was just mental. It's, again, seeing him ride with just the authority and the, you know, the knowledge of spending time in mountains like this, but then unfortunately going to the ragdoll.
That's why we're watching the highlight. Back five to ragdoll. Nice front three at the bottom there, though.
And Mikey, of course, as you mentioned, Ed, like he's spent less time in the backcountry so far, but he's really having no problem at all going toe-to-toe with these heavies.
Gigantic bite out of that top cliff, but he wasn't able to put it down, just bounced out, deck chairing.
Love to see what he's doing, though. I mean, he's not holding back from any risk-taking, and there's a calculation and a deftness, even though he's not putting the landing gear down right there where he wants to.
But we saw it with Travis. If you're smart, you know that it's going to take your best riding to beat someone like Torsten, so you can't hold back.
Exactly. You have to swing for the fences. There's no other option in this situation.
I got work. Me too. Oh, no way. Oh, yeah. Inside my goggles.
Oh, yeah. I just ripped off my goggles.
Me too.
I can't see anything. That was fun. Nice to go down a little bit.
The GoPro's a little...
Whew.
Doink. Thanks.
Woo.
We're ready for scores.
Okay, so scores from first run. 50 points for Torsten, 40 points for Mikey. Both of those academic when you consider the talent we have at our fingertips. Looking forward to seeing both of these two get stuck into their second runs. They've had their rangefinders, no excuses, second run.
Yeah.
Try that for a change?
I went so fast off the top.
I mean, that's, you know, that's what it is. It's when you're on terrain like this, I think every run that you take obviously builds up that cadence that you have, but there's no holds barred. And so there is a bit of range finding throughout, you know, even the semis situation.
Okay, Nils Mindnich versus Travis Rice. I've got to say, this is first, like Nils Mindnich went toe-to-toe with Ben Ferguson in the duels in 2023, and it was one of the most compelling of all of the duels that year. He didn't get his chance, but this time he's got his shot and he's going up against the biggest dog in the pack in Travis Rice.
So we're going to look at a highlight from his run. And the thing, again, as you said, you can't hold back at all right there. So if he's going into just throwing that 5 right there and then just getting out on the landing, kind of overcooking it a little bit, but you have to put it all out on the table here.
We saw it with Torsten. He went in front 5 on that, and he bossed that switch run out. And the fact that Nils Mindnich struggled with it tells you how hard it is.
Yeah, opening up some new terrain there and just kind of getting bogged down.
Yeah, he's lost his mojo at this point, hasn't he?
Luckily, though, one more run, obviously, but, you know, you don't ever want to have Travis dropping behind you in this kind of situation, so he's just going to have to turn it up for run number 2.
Yeah, we saw what Torgeir giving Travis a free run ended up doing for him, so Travis with 2 runs now to put the pressure on Nils Mindnich.
And the thing, too, I mean, Nils Mindnich, you know, he came up through competition. He came up riding the packed powder slopes of Vermont. He is someone that has an incredible mental game as well, so I don't think there's any reason to discount him with only 1 more run to go against Travis.
He's certainly got, technically, he's brilliant. So, and I think that's what will scare Travis in this battle, but Travis' highest score of the day so far, a 93 dropping down the left-hand side of the venue. It's the law of diminishing returns, though. If he goes back there, we've had a lot of riders through there. We've even seen a repeat of the double backflip that he opened from Jared Elston. So, look at this. You know you're getting something special when Travis starts psyching himself up and gets in visualization zone.
Okay, going to a new zone right off the bat. Backside 360. Oh, catches it into a double hit.
I mean, that was almost a combo, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The turns linked the rotations.
Oh, and putting down, oh, just coming off of that rodeo. Not quite sticking the landing.
So good up top, though, so smooth. Again, it's the advantage of that terrain read. He's seeing lines that he knows he can string together. He's got that level of experience.
Yeah. And again, it's rad watching Travis, knowing the competition that he's up against with Nils, who is such a doctor of precision, and knowing that he also cannot hold back in taking these risks.
Okay, again, hitting fresh tracks over here. So we've seen a lot of people on the other side of this knoll. Travis coming down the sunny side of it.
Seeing where it is, you know, I'd like to wager a guess right now that, oh, beautiful kick out with the method right now. You know, we talk a lot about the door being left open for riders like Travis when they are coming up behind you in the competition lineup, but I think right now also the door's open for either of them. Nils has an opportunity here to capitalize on as well.
Lovely bit of classic riding here. We saw that little crossbone Indy. We've seen that method snapped out, and he's coming up on top of another big stack now.
He is really capitalizing on the terrain opportunities.
Well, you know, with Travis, he knows exactly where he is.
So threading the needle to a very particular stack of pillows right here.
Redirecting across.
You get the sense he may have ridden this before, maybe in like his dreams or something. Like his familiarity with terrain that he doesn't know is really incredible to watch.
Look at him, he enjoyed that. Oh, this is an absolute joy, isn't it, going back up here? So the back 3 straight onto his heel edge, sets him up for that beautiful front 3 drop.
Yeah, that was just a beautiful double line right there. So extemporaneous looking, just like a beautiful song.
There's that rodeo, bounces out of the landing on that one. The thing with that 3-to-3 combo from Travis is how easy he made it look. The judges have to reward it, though. There was the method. We've skipped past the Indian, now it's onto the pillow stack.
I was just blown away by his route finding to get to that point of the course. I really feel like he capitalized and really squeezed all of the juice from that run.
Well, it's one of the things that I think we always forget about when we're looking at the scores potentially against Dustin and Revy in 23, against Red, is the speed and flow that he carries. He may make those mistakes, but he doesn't let up.
Yes.
Proof of concept.
Proof of concept.
How's yours?
That's what Nils is calling his line.
It was pretty sweet. Sat down on a back rodeo to flat light.
Hey, somebody's got to do it. Nice work.
We're ready for scores at finish.
Did you go same line as last time?
Nils 52, Travis 75. So a lot of room for movement there, even on Travis's score.
Yeah, that's the thing is I think with these 2 riders, the door is open for both of them. I don't think that a 23-point differential is any sort of concern for Nils right now. I think he could rise to the occasion. I also think that Travis could easily add 20 more points above his score.
Yeah, both of them. Okay, we've seen them. Nils has already got an 88 in his back pocket. Travis has got a 93.
Yeah.
With landed runs, these two can go right up to the top of the judges' scale.
Yes, and they both function very, very well under pressure.
Okay, so Travis with the upper hand for now. Tending to throw away Nils' glove. Keep an eye out there, Jared Elston.
Thanks, Dad.
Jared Elston actually got his beanie over his helmet there.
I don't think that's a actually certified helmet. Although Travis's is.
Travis's is the anti-ordinary. If you're interested in winning a full ride setup, scan the QR code at the bottom of the screen now. We have a full ride setup up for grabs. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have all of the action from the second runs of the Men's Natural Selection Tour Finals.
Here, the snow is deep. The friendship, deeper. The work, the thought, and the desire to innovate that went into our new 2025 models, deepest.
I have been on Ride Snowboard's team for about 15 years now, which is a long time. I feel super privileged to be on the team. We have an amazing team right now, and it's really special that they stepped up and became one of the sponsors for NSD and are supporting this because this is such a big event for our type of snowboarding. I just have a great quiver of all different kinds of boards that help me prepare for any kind of conditions. So that really helps for stuff like natural selection, just having whatever options I may need for whatever conditions present themselves.
I'm Ben Ferguson. I'm from Bend, Oregon, and I'm a professional snowboarder.
The seat taken, brother?
Oh, you, bro.
All right, let's go. Howdy, y'all. Shiny here reporting from the beer lodge up in beautiful McCall, Idaho. Ben, what's your favorite part of snowboarding?
I think my favorite part of snowboarding would just be being out there in the mountains with your buddies, man.
Pub beer. Cheap fun, as evidenced by Ben Ferguson. 10 Barrel Brewing actually ran some sick days during qualifiers. You could call in sick and go and join in a viewing party at the 10 Barrel Brewing pubs in the Pacific Northwest. They've also made us a special natural selection beer called Sick Day, so go and find that wherever you buy your beers. Now, second runs of men's semi-finals to get stuck into. Torsten Horgmo, narrow lead over Mikey Ciccarelli, but expecting big things from both of those riders. And same in the second heat. Travis Rice, 75 over 52. But we know both Nils and Travis have got huge runs in the tank if they can land them, Mary.
Yeah, there's no safety in the Mosquito Bowl right now. Everyone is on high alert.
Okay, this northeasterly face, got a tiny bit of wind, but 10 out of 10 the snow conditions. We've heard it time and again from the riders at the bottom. So great terrain, incredible snow. There is nowhere for these riders to hide. A place in the finals is at stake. Torsten Horgmo's been in this position before. In Alaska in 2022, he and Travis shouting across the fences at each other from either side of the draw. And it feels like we could be repeating that here as he drops in switch.
Going similar to that line from earlier, but breaking into new territory, especially switch right now.
Switch in terrain of consequence.
Wow. Okay, and just sneaking out that back one, but ragdolling the landing.
His toenails were driving through the footbeds in his boots. He was clinging onto that one. I thought he was going to make it.
And that was a late 182. Popping a, back 5 right there.
Holds on to it.
Heavy.
Yeah, it was a heavy land. He bounced through it, but he's still got it.
Okay, this is a strategic run, though, of course. You know, navigating this whole part switch to set himself up for something potentially on this next segment.
Yeah, he's lost that top feature, but the back 5 has kept him in the hunt, I feel. Ooh.
Oh, a revert. Okay.
Just couldn't make it through these flats, switch.
Yeah, you got to keep that speed.
And it's so tough, isn't it? If we notice it, it's a giant red flag to the judges as well.
Totally. Okay, regaining momentum here, and now we're going to see a, frontside 5, gets that landing.
Do you think he was going for 7 there and spotted that with Torsten, there's a very good chance he spotted that landing and thought, I can't bring this round to 7?
Yeah, I mean, Tor has incredible air awareness. He's definitely like a cat.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? He knew he's under pressure, but there's no big score behind him.
Right.
He's got a really long, nervous weight down at the bottom here. He might be able to squeeze... No more features. I was going to say there might be one more. We've seen Travis pull a pillow stack out of that before that no one else seems to have found. But
again, that's the interesting part, too, is that Mikey, doesn't know what just happened on that run. So he's kind of working off, that blind aspect of how much he needs to push it in his run.
That first hit under the ridge, 100%, isn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't know what he's... He'll have seen Torsten launching into switchback 1. Okay, Mikey, final preparations. Tying down that duck iron vest. Making sure he's locked in.
Yeah, Mikey.
The mic.
Amazingly, when you look at the Burton roster, Mikkel, Mark McMorris, Zoe Sadowski-Sinnott, Ben Ferguson, Mikey, the only Burton rider left in the finals this year. Very unusual.
Yeah, I think that's never happened before, I don't think. Okay, going back on that ridge line.
And he's he's coming from the right-hand side, so he's going to get some speed into this, I think.
Big back 3. That
Even
was
bigger than he went in qualies.
Yeah, that was huge. I'd love to see the other angle of that. That was massive.
He said that after the qualies, didn't he? That he went absolutely huge, and he went even bigger on that hit as well.
Absolutely gorgeous. Floaty front 3 right there.
Mikey Ciccarelli has got a little bit of heat and pressure that he can apply to Torsten Horgmo now.
I really feel like similar to when Jared Elston's first season, when he was competing in natural selection and you were just watching what you knew was a force, just kind of like, a shark swimming under the water and rising. I feel like watching Mikey is the same thing. You're like, oh no, where is he going to go with this?
Okay, Mikey Ciccarelli with a place in the finals in the palm of his hand as he flicks round to switch. Nice little half cab there.
Ooh, it brings it back around and just gets taken down by a snow snake in those tracks, it looks like.
Oh, that's a really interesting one.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're looking at falls,
right?
Torsten made it a long way out of that switchback one before he went down. You've suddenly got quite a sort of, it looks like a gentle mistake there.
Totally. I do think that it's not the most consequential part of your run to have that happen, and obviously, you know, lower down, back up right away.
Okay, let's take a look at this. Huge consequence, incredibly technical opener for Torsten, going for that switchback one, and just got his nose buried, didn't he?
Yeah, it looked like he was going to hang on to that one too. And then beautiful backside 5 right there.
He managed to squeeze a bit of flavor out of it with the stale fish as well, didn't he?
And really utilizing that roller to its full potential, I think, and getting a lot of nice pop on that 5 as well.
I stand by my comment. I do think he was looking for 7 on that, and when he spotted the landing, he realized he didn't have enough time. Big, this is the angle you wanted, Mary.
Yeah, oh, that's so big, and he has so much speed coming out of that. Like I said, I think that Ciccarelli is just a shark in the water right now. He's just, every time you see him compete, you're just like, okay, this guy is gunning for it.
And the grab on that front 3 nearly landed on his fingers. And then just heavy on the tail after that little half cab.
Yeah, you know, they both had strengths in their run. I think this is a tough one, but
I can't call this. I really can't.
I fell on the last. No. Yeah, dude. No. Yeah. I got greedy. I was trying to do like cab 5 and I got stuck, so I did like a butter back to switch.
Yeah, I fell on the top too, so I don't know what's gonna happen. So on the first. I'm sorry.
Both of them running out of air time. Torsten on the 7 and Mikey on that half cab that should have been a cab 5. Neither do we, Torsten.
No. Again, though, it's so interesting watching the different styles of competition, and you know Torsten is such a focused competitor, but he is so calm and collected on the outside.
So 50 for... They've both improved their scores, 100%. Mikey Ciccarelli takes it by just 2 points over Torsten Horgmo. So Mikey Ciccarelli, he competed in Revelstoke and Alaska last year, and he went out in the first round both times. Now, here in Revelstoke and then Selkirk Tangiers, he makes it into the finals.
Go get it.
Huge inspiration.
Go get it.
Thanks, buddy.
Here, I'm getting a bump up so I can watch this.
Mikey Ciccarelli, dude, your first Natural Selection Tour final. How are you feeling right now?
A little shocked for sure, but feeling really good. Now I got to try to channel that. I mean, I didn't. Tor's such a good rider, so I was just like, take it as it comes. So I can't believe it, honestly.
So in the finals, you are confirmed. You're either going to face Travis Rice or Nils Mindnich. Is there a rider you prefer?
Honestly, the way both of them riding right now, neither. You know me, I'm not going to pick.
How's your strategy going to change for finals? Are you going to stick to the runs you were kind of going for in semifinals? Or are you going to try to open up some new terrain?
Yes, so I tried to open up some new terrain on my first run in the semis there, and it didn't really line up. So I honestly think I might just go back to what I've ridden. I know that works, and just try to like up my tricks. It's kind of the plan, I think.
Dude, this is a big day for Mike.
It's a huge day.
Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
Proud of you.
Appreciate it. Holy!
Mike. Mikey!
Yeah, Mikey!
Mikey Ciccarelli. Oh, look, Sage Kotsenberg's gone for the beanie over the helmet there. It's becoming a thing by the looks of it, Mary.
You know, I absolutely loved, Mikey, we caught him saying you're an inspiration to Torsten. That was such a cool moment to witness.
Definitely. Mikey Ciccarelli in dreamland right now. But we find ourselves second runs of the second semi-final.
More of a nightmare situation. Just kidding, guys. Because you both are so good at snowboarding.
So Nils Mindnich, he knows he has to deliver here. He's up against the best in the business. First couple of turns.
You know, I'm really wondering what we're going to see him put. You know, he's back on this ridge line, and what is the trick he's going to do on the end, because he knows he needs to up the ante. So coming into the very tip of this shark fin, And a giant 540. That was just an enormous back 540.
The engineer in him wanted to go back to that trick and make it right. He fell on that first run. He makes it second run. Huge switchback 3.
Oh, muscles out the landing. That's a revert a little bit, but now he's pinning it.
Dropped it down a cog and given it a handful there. Absolutely flying across the flats.
Okay. Keeping his speed into this next section. He goes back to switch right now. Switch straight air.
Beautiful switch frontside air. You really don't see many switch straight airs. And a decent hack at that.
I mean, a switch hack like that, that's not easy.
Okay. Coasting through these turns. Like, the back arm, usually people have so many tells when they're switch that will show you that they're riding. They look a little bit awkward. Their shoulders are a bit closed, but Nils at the moment making short work of this, and he's riding it all switch.
Yeah, he looks positively ambidextrous on his snowboard.
And he's coming up to a big bit of exposure here. There's a stack in front of him.
Okay, this could get really interesting. Okay, navigating this, and he does the drop, beautifully executed and done in his switch stance. That was so impressive.
There are so many riders who would struggle with a technical piece of terrain like that forwards. To do it switch is truly breathtaking.
You know, he did that so well, I almost forgot that he was goofy there. Like, that was so perfect.
How'd you go? He looks good. He's dry.
He's drier.
The rider's starting to light up down there now.
Judging by how well he did, by how much snow is on his person.
That's the time of the day. Time.
Okay, so Nils Mindnich with an incredible run under his belt. There is no question that that run is going to put pressure on Travis Rice now. And Travis won't know it up at the top. He just knows that he's got to lay down the best run he's got in his bag.
Sure.
Yeah, such an interesting point for this venue in particular, with not being able to watch your competitors' runs. You're basically going to blind strategy.
But you know that every run is a final.
Yes, exactly, 100%.
Okay, so Trav, again, following that first run we saw from the semis, this is where he did his threes.
Okay, good. Oh my God, that, like a transfer double drop, essentially. That was beautiful.
Well, in the same space, he'd packed 2 360s in, and then he's just done a lovely little tap drop in the same amount. Oh, that's phenomenal.
Wow, just picking out that option in the terrain, that is so rad. And then just kicking out a method quick off of that knoll.
And another fresh hit.
Yes.
So difficult for you've got that super technical run from Nils, and then you've just got fresh terrain that Travis is unwrapping run by run.
Yeah, the sheer acreage that he is kind of cracking open is really impressive.
And what's fascinating, we've seen this left-hand side of the venue look quite dead in spots for some of the riders who've come out here, but Travis, something about it. He's got this gift of being able to create terrain like that. He's got beautiful backside 180.
That was so floaty, so perfect. Heading into this switch back 3, just putting it down very casually.
So a huge chunk at the bottom of this run switch, just reverts it back around there, a little back shifty to hop over. And we've seen Travis conjuring features out of thin air on this bottom section. Was that a little claim there? He just gave it the fist, didn't he?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay.
Making his way across.
Back round to switch again. I think in the back of, it'll be itching the back of Travis's mind, knowing how much time Nils will have spent switch. A little ho-ho plant there on the final drop.
And coming back into that Billy Goat trail now.
Wow.
Okay, that was a heavy second run.
Look at the size of that drop.
That angle is so sick. I mean, that was a thing of beauty.
And he tips forward a tiny bit, but he holds on to it. This is the one little hole in this run.
Yes, I actually thought he was going to bring it around to 5 then, and then of course he had the revert. Okay, so this is crazy. Okay, let's look at it from that bigger angle. Massive double stack, executing it like perfect if you were a regular stance and he's switch stance.
So you got to gap out onto the side of that mushroom and then nail that hit on top of the pillow. Travis, with that, how beautiful was that?
That was so great. Both of those clips, I guess not clips necessarily, but they play like video clips. They were both fantastic.
Unbelievable. The top, all the way through Travis's run, those 3 big hits are just out of this world.
Yeah, that angle too on the 180, that makes it look so big.
It's a clean run.
Kind of like this post-run interview.
Not super.
So Travis, tell me, how did it feel?
Man, it did not feel like rain on my wedding day.
Scores are ready? Scores.
Nils sounds confident. Nils Mindnich with an 87. Travis Rice with an 80. That is the first time Travis Rice has lost since, I think, Baldface in 2022.
Yes, when Dustin Craven won, Nils has broken his streak.
2 more runs. What do you guys think? You ready?
Nils Mindnich, dude.
Let's go.
Congrats, buddy. Coming up all the way from duels, you beat Victor Davier in Durango. Yesterday, you plowed through the competition to get here. The corral's going crazy. And here you are in your first ever Natural Selection Tour final. You got to be riding high right now.
Dude, I'm so stoked. Blown away. I feel like every time you take a run here, you always look back and there's like things you want to perfect. And so you don't really know until you end up with a score, and I'm tripping.
Did you know it when you came down? Were you like, that was probably enough?
No, I didn't think so. Like, I knew it could be enough, but it's like if Travis lands a Travis run, then I would totally understand if it wasn't. There's always room for improvement, right? So I'm just like, oh shit, I messed this and that up, but I couldn't have done much better, I don't think.
So what's the strategy now? Any shift in how you're approaching this event, or are you just gonna go up and figure it out?
I have no idea where I'm gonna go riding now. I feel like I've gone like a few different lanes. I might just try a similar lane and maybe step it up. Granted, the consistency, like hitting the same line, might dock me some points, but I don't know. Probably talk to my fellow cohorts and come up with a little battle plan.
Well, dude, get the hell out of here. You got a heli to jump in with Mikey Ciccarelli.
2 more laps.
Nils Mindnich, everybody.
T-Bird repping that sweet Arc'teryx gear.
Yeah, dude.
While Nils Mindnich has booked his place in the final up against Mikey Ciccarelli. 2 riders who have never made a Natural Selection Tour final. Travis Rice receiving the traditional battle cry of those who've been knocked out, one of us. He hasn't felt that for a while.
Yes, he hasn't joined that crew in a minute, so that's an exciting designation in itself.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break, but before we do, let's check in with Skidoo, who are one of the essential tools for anyone wanting to get into the backcountry.
The Skidoos are just excellent workhorses. We are able to move personnel and gear into locations that are otherwise inaccessible. Not only are they an incredible tool, they're also just plain fun. There's a lot of ways to access the backcountry, but when it comes to production, you need something that can get you there fast and with ease. The unbridled power and performance, they see saying is almost more fun on the way up than the board is on the way down. These sleds are paramount to the success of these events all the way through, from the first time we put boots and or sleds on the ground through event completion and loadout. We couldn't pull off Natural Selection Tour without the support of Skidoo, hands down.
Explore the backcountry like never before. Use Onyx Backcountry to map your backpacking trips with our extensive route building toolkit. Search thousands of mountain bike trails and track your rides. Discover backcountry ski zones with integrated guidebooks, avalanche assessment tools, and up-to-date weather reports. And find the crag with ease in 3D to access climbing routes. Whether you're a seasoned explorer or heading out for the first time, Onyx Backcountry empowers you to adventure with confidence.
Hey, you ready?
It all comes down to this. The Yeti Natural Selection Tour Finals 2024 here in the Selkirk Tangiers heli tenure. We have two finals matchups that are worthy of the venue and the conditions. Let's take a closer look at them, Todd.
Yeah, this is going to be insane. They've been battling out for days right now. So for the men, Mikey Ciccarelli up against Nils Mindnich, and my gosh, this is going to be two guys that I didn't really see in the beginning of this thing popping into the final. So this is going to be really interesting. Two underdogs taking each other on.
And look at the scalps they've taken along the way. Nils has taken out Travis and Jared, and Mikey's taken out Torsten and Austen Sweetin. Like he's in dreamland right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's like, look, Nils is kind of like the Ned Flanders of snowboarding. Like he's got such a positive outlook, and he's all hi diddly ho, but he just took down the GOAT Travis Rice in his own event.
How do you think Travis feels about that?
Not good. Not good at all.
No, he definitely, I mean, we've said Jared and Travis both fierce competitors, but we're seeing the same on this side. I feel like Jamie Anderson almost let that semi-final slip through her fingers because she was so laissez-faire about it.
Yeah, you know, Mary Rand is hungry, and Marion played to her skill set, which is bigger backcountry style riding of natural features. She's not relying on her airtime, but Mary Rand with that big backside 360, that's how she found her way into this. And like I said, she is hungry.
And no doubt they are hungry. Two Rivian R1Ts up for grabs as we move into the finals. The women are up first. Marion Haerty out of Chamonix going up against Mary Rand out of Mount Baker. Take a breath, people. This one is going to go to the fences.
You good, Marion?
Okay, QR code down at the bottom there. If you want some exclusive NST merch, you can scan that. You can also turn your gear into cash, buy, rent, or sell. Now, though, it's the turn of Marion Haerty to drop in. A year off in 2023, she's come back and made finals in 2024.
So if I was going to tell Marion some advice here on this final run, she needs to play to what her strengths are, taking the big drops and the untapped terrain. She's not going to beat Mary Rand at the air game, so she needs to play to her strengths.
That's exactly what she's doing here. Decent drop. Hammers out of that one. She's got a heavy bit of work done up top.
Yeah, and she's cruising here through the midsection of the course. Coming in, here's a little rollover. Backside 3, nose butter, holds on to that one. So that was a little bit more freestyle than I kind of was expecting out of Marion. But like, hey, you get Eye of the Tiger here in the finals.
She did actually ride a bit of slope at Europa Cup level, so she has got freestyle smarts in there. It was just a case of dusting them off, but that was really tasty.
Yeah, it was, and it was very smooth. So she has that big drop up top, and now she moves into the lower part of the course here. Tail grab. Still kind of waiting for that big move. She needs to find herself in some terrain that she can get a big drop to end this with. She started off with a bang because she knows that there's possibly some big backflips and rotations coming by her competitor.
Yeah, she needs a full stop on this run, doesn't she?
She goes looking for some exposure here. You see that rock exposed. Slowing down a little bit. I would have liked to have seen a straight line into that, but there she goes. So top to bottom, full run.
I know what you mean about that hesitation, but equally killing all of that speed meant that she found the transition, was able to stand up on that landing.
Absolutely. The judges will love it, though, if you go into it with a lot more speed and a little bit more reckless abandon.
Well, it's run 1. She's going to get to see a score off the back of this, and she'll know. Well, we've seen Marion do this before. The first year in Jackson in 2021, she came in really, really light, and she actually waited for mistakes from other riders to capitalize on.
She's very smart, super smart competitor. She does just enough to see where she's going to sit, and how does she have to up it on run number 2. That is perfect strategy for competition.
Especially in finals like this where you've got so much pressure. This is the first time of asking for Mary Rand. She's just arrived at natural selection. She finds herself in the finals against one of the most experienced women in the field, and she looks pretty relaxed.
She does look relaxed. She also looks really amped. Now, I know, like, competitors sometimes get a little bit too over-amped when they go into an event, and that can kind of sometimes bring on maybe flying past landings or not really being, paying attention as much as you probably should.
Well, adrenaline kills intuition. It doesn't seem to have had any ill effects, though, on that top section as she bounces over that spine.
I think she's looking for that wind lip that's down here. Nope, actually took a different run line on this. So now she's kind of just out in the flats meandering around. It seems like maybe she gave up a couple opportunities to hit some stuff there.
Well, it's interesting. She started off on the shady side of the face, and she's going out to find some sunlight now. But yeah, if you get that top section wrong, then you've got a huge chunk of flats to get through, haven't you?
Yeah, you really do. And there's a lot of time. And if you get in the wrong line, you're basically out of luck as far as getting your board in the air and really playing to what the judges want to see. So now she kind of gets back into some opportunity. Little frontside air off that little knob. And she'll head down here into this saddle.
Same zone that we saw Nils and Travis attacking in the semis.
Nils and Travis kind of peeled off to the right, but it looks like Mary's going right on top of this little bench here. And I know that there's a couple cliffs over here. Kind of tic-tacking her way through here, trying to find herself on top of something that could possibly give her some points. Because right now, I'm going to claim it that Marion's got the advantage. Little drop, little tail grab right there, and that'll basically do it for Mary's run.
Okay, very solid top to bottom, but we talked about there being a crux in Marion's run, and I feel like there's the same there. Both of them seem to have taken this slow and steady approach.
I think Marion with the drop up top, and maybe, that butter backside 360, I'm going to say that the advantage is going to her right now.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Really, really strong. I'm trying to think who it was in the first round of the men's. I think it was Austen, went back 7 off there, off his toes. Like, so difficult to spin downhill like that, but she made it look easy.
Yeah, and you see from that GoPro angle, just the amount of speed maintenance that has to come into this, because the snow, as the day has moved on, it's gotten warmer, and the snow is getting a little bit more punchy where it's chewed up, so you need to really be on your feet.
You can actually see a crown line there, a little bit of snow getting gone when we saw Mary's GoPro.
So as Mary came down here, I just feel like Mary ran out of features to really stack points on this run.
She turns this into a double though. Gets across onto that other little popper there.
Yeah, little hop out. But if I have to be a judge, I got to wear the judge's cap right now. I'm going to say that Marion takes the advantage.
I think I got it.
What's Mary looking for?
She's ready for scores.
But she's going to be selling NFTs of those photos.
74, repeat, 74.
So Marion Haerty on a 74, Mary Randa on a 69. You called it, Todd.
I think it's close enough. You know that there is some wiggle room in there. Mary has some work to do on run number 2.
Okay, can see the boys there. Beanies on helmets, enjoying their pub beers. Having a sick day behind the banners. One of us is the cry. That's what you don't want to hear when you're competing in natural selection. It means that you've been knocked out.
The Losers Club, I believe they call them.
Okay, back up at the top. These two, both in their first ever natural selection finals. Nils Mindnich going up against this man, Mikey Ciccarelli. Mikey being so smooth, so composed all day. He's found some great lines.
So I wonder if Mikey's going to play to what got him here and take that line that ends up in the big windlip. Mikey's background is also in slopestyle. He knows how to get it done in the air. Mikey coming in switch into this little knob rollover right here. Switch 540, stays up on his feet, comes up a little bit short on the rotation, but able to put the board back under him. Now he heads into this launcher into oblivion. Sets it up, backside, rodeo 7, kind of hand grenades into the landing.
Ooh, that's 2 landings that haven't, like that one he stopped dead on.
He did, absolutely. So Nils up top is going to be licking his chops right now.
Well, he'll have seen that one for sure. He might not have seen the cab 450, but he will have seen that rodeo 7. It's kind of that Andreas wig, kind of more just slightly off axis, wasn't it?
The dump over into an off axis backside 720. But he needs a little bit more airtime to get that done. So Mikey looking down here for a couple more opportunities down towards the bottom of the course, and that'll kind of wrap it up as far as the big scoring potential. Here's that little diving board that he made short work of this morning.
Ooh.
Kind of almost like frontside board slide 270s off that little knob. That was really cool.
He's doing well now. He's in salvage mode for this run at this stage.
And remember, the falls don't necessarily really count towards taking away from a score. It just kind of like will hurt your flow score.
Yeah, it's points missed in terms of flow, but it's not. You're not getting penalized for the fall itself. The judging criteria is credo: creativity, risk, execution, difficulty, and overall.
So he would be taxed on the execution of that because he didn't exactly land perfectly. Actually, both of those tricks, but the top one, that could have been, you could have written that one off, the 540 that didn't come all the way around because he did combo that into that second drop.
Just was a little butt check.
That's all good. That sounds like an NST stomp. NST.
Natural selection to a stomp.
Hey, easy. Come on. What's backside rodeo?
Backside rodeo.
I don't know. Looking clean though, dude.
This is literally the heckling crew that when you come down, and they're all in descending height order too. That's what I think is really important that they've set that up that way.
You could say there's hierarchy to it as well.
Very much so.
Okay, back up at the top, it's our second semi-finalist, Nils Mindnich. He took down Travis Rice, the first man to do so in almost 2 years. Now his task is taking on the Canadian, Mikey Ciccarelli, and he jumped in with some intent there.
Yeah, Nils is serious business. I mean, he grew up in Vermont, and people that come out of the East Coast of the United States are extremely motivated because they have a chip on their shoulder.
Says the East Coaster.
Exactly.
Switch off the top there, all the way in there. Are we going to see? So I used the phrase mauled when I described the way Nils took Victor Davier to town in his duel. It looks like Nils might be laying down a full switch run. Oh no, he's back to forwards now out of that butter back three.
I've got to say that when Nils rides switch, and you were commenting on this before, the way that his front shoulder sits, it doesn't look like he's riding switch, and that's incredibly difficult to do, to not make it just look like you're going down the hill backwards. Nils does a really good job of the body language of riding your opposite foot.
So he's laid down a run that any of the other riders would have been proud of, the entire top section, but it's switch. Think of it like pinball. The multiplying effect that has on the score right now is just huge.
Well, it's the eyes of an engineer as he's just putting things together. A little tree tap here.
And totally new train. He's broken trail in the final when we've got so many tracks through this face. He's found a new corner to go and explore. This is such a statement in his first run.
Yeah, there's sections of this course that are completely paved, meaning that there's just so many tracks in them that it's really hard to find a soft landing. But Nils opening up a completely new section. Wow, that was a great read from Nils. That was a fairly devastating run for Mikey Ciccarelli.
That was emphatic, start to finish. So Mikey Ciccarelli, there's nothing wrong with this run. He comes up short on a couple of jumps, but it's a really strong pitch for him. Like, he's going for gold. Like, he wants to win here. He's got some big technical tricks up top. He's taking risks.
You could have written that 540 off right there, but this is glaringly obvious that he just hot tubbed that landing. That slowed his momentum down. He did try to make up for it here. There's that little front side board slide pop off 270.
But this is just incredible. For me, this is on a par with some of the runs we saw from Torsten and Travis in Alaska 22.
Just watch his arms and how comfortable he is landing switch stance in powder. It is crazy.
So the entire top section up to there. The first 400 meters, like 1,200 feet of the run, a switch.
Yeah, very ambidextrous riding. And then this was my favorite part almost of the run, that little ollie out to tree branch bonk, and then into that untapped section of steeps.
This is going to be a huge score for Nils. Okay.
Ready for scores at finish?
80 points for Nils Mindnich, 60 for Mikey Ciccarelli. There is a void between them after this first run. That is a big, big deficit. Mikey Ciccarelli making a face like he's going to work now.
Remember, it only takes one to get it done, so these scores can all be thrown out. All you need to do is be the highest scoring run, and you will go home with the win and the Rivian.
So, second run of the women now. And it's Marion Haerty with a 5-point lead over Mary Rand as they come to these second runs. And it's going to be interesting to see how Mary Rand deals with that pressure. I haven't seen her in a situation like this before. Mary said it earlier, plenty of rail jams where you've got a very loose jam format feel to those rail jams. It's very different when you know that the eyes of the snowboard world are on you and you're under pressure.
Right, and this is such a prestigious event too. I mean, just getting the invite to come here and compete is huge. Now you find yourself in the finals, like it is a magnifying glass on your riding.
Marion Haerty drops in right up on the top of that shoulder.
Similar line to what she took in the run previous. She's looking to get into that cliffy section up top. Needs to start pointing it over these cliffs. So nice drop out.
A little bit lower. Came off the side of that cliff band. Not quite as exposed.
She could be setting herself up for something else. Over here, this is where she threw it into the backside 3 nose butter. Doesn't get it this time, though. Kind of missed the timing with the nose drag, but now she's kind of put over into the middle of the saddle in some fresh snow, so it's kind of zapping a little bit of her speed.
I don't think that she's going to be able to build on this.
No.
She's going to need something very special, pretty critical down here to make a difference to this score and push it up. And for me, that a 74 that she sat on is good, but it is far from safe.
No, it's not safe at all. Frontside 360. Mary Rand is looking at this like, okay, where can I play to my strength. She's got that back flip. She likes to bring that out, and it does always get the wows and the big points. It's really, you know, it's not the hardest trick in snowboarding, but it definitely always seems to reward.
It's a crowd pleaser, Tom.
It is a crowd pleaser, and the judges are part of the crowd. And if you can do something that wows the judges just a little bit more than the person you're competing against, that's all it takes. There's a couple speed checks into that little drop off, and that'll do it for this run. There's not really much more scoring potential here down towards the bottom, maybe a little mini drop. But that's it. I think Marion's run up top wasn't nearly as good as her first run.
For me, that's a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
She had a chance to build on that and put that out of sight. She could have put it beyond Mary Rand. But what was interesting, you called it, she needed to get earlier off that cliff. She just worked her way down off the side of it.
I think, you know, it's one thing for us to sit here and call this because we can see from a different point of view than the riders. It must just roll over, and you can't tell how big it is or how flat it's going to be.
Super shaded in that section as well. Now that the sun's come around, it all comes down to this for Mary Rand. It's been a Cinderella story so far here in British Columbia. She turned up in Revelstoke and took Hannah Beeman to town in the qualifiers.
And it's interesting, too, because, you know, you have Nils Mindnich from the East Coast, and also Mary is from Rhode Island, a state that you wouldn't necessarily equate with big mountain riding. But like I said, East Coasters have a chip on their shoulder, and they can put that to good use as Mary begins her trek down that same shoulder that we saw Marion go down.
Is she going to stay in the sun, though, or is she going to float off onto that shaded side?
I would be trying to stay in the sun as much as possible because that's where you get the definition. Looking for a little nose here on this cliff.
So coming off exactly the same spot as Mary, and they're right off the corner of that.
Now, if I'm Mary, I'm pointing it into this, and I'm just going to toss a backflip right here. This is probably one of the only places that she'll have the opportunity to do it in this run. Goes to the backside three and stays up.
Back three to back nose butter.
Yeah.
That's what you're comparing. They're very similar top sections.
And I will argue that the backside 360 nose butter may not have been on purpose. I think that was it looked really cool. It worked itself out, but I think it may have been a pre-takeoff on a back three.
But any judge will tell you, you judge what you see.
Exactly.
You don't judge what you think it was supposed to be.
Right. So there's a little frontside air. Mary needs to find her way into something new. I don't know why they're not going. I guess they can't really see where like Nils went or where Travis went over into that gully off to the rider's right. It just seems to be there's so much untapped opportunity over in there.
Well, it's only got one track down through here. Keep the flow. Keep that pace up.
And that's another thing, too, is we talk about the flow. You can't just really stop on top of things and assess as she comes to a stop right on top of this right here. You kind of want to keep that flow going.
On full switchback.
Here we go. What has she got? She's got a drop over a little bush right there. She just needs to point it off of this, and she could potentially take this thing home. Oh, and she almost opts for going down the ridge line. There we go. Oh! Lands on her back a little bit. I don't know. I think Marion's got the
drop in
advantage.
itself, no. But when you take that whole section together and you look, for the judges, she's broken up the entire flow of the run with that. I don't think she can recover from that.
She may have one more opportunity. Nope, and there it is. There's the turn back on the goat path. I think Marion's got this. I think that she, by virtue of run number one and the flow that she had with that little cliff drop and also that backside 360 nose butter, and she stayed up on her feet and was smooth, I think she's going to take the advantage.
Yeah, Marion definitely not improving from that first run score. So we know that there's a 74 on the board for Marion. Let's not forget these riders would have been bussing out of Revelstoke at around 6:30 a.m.
Yeah, back-to-back days. This is an emotionally taxing ride for any of these riders.
Not to mention physically.
Yeah.
We're coming up on nearly 3 o'clock now, 3:15. They've been up in the hills for more than 7 hours, riding pretty hard. So Mary, yeah, she's looking really good up to this point. I think if she could have delivered in that final section, there would be a question mark, but...
Riders, right? Yeah.
Okay, judges are ready.
Where's this going to be?
It's a 59 for Marion, 62 for Mary, which means the first run scores will count. Marion Haerty is your 2024 Yeti Natural Selection winner here in the Selkirk Tangiers Heli Tenure.
Marion Haerty, your Yeti Natural Selection champion. Marion, you've stood on the podium of these events before, but never on top. How are you feeling right now?
I just can't believe it. It's a dream come true, you know. You know, I wrote a message to Travis like 4 years ago to say, hey, can I come hang out with you guys? I'm really motivated to come. And now the dream is here, so I can't believe it, yeah.
How would you describe today and your experience as a whole?
I was really in a kind of video part mode. I was not thinking about competition. I was like, okay, what is beautiful to do, how I can be better on every run. So yeah, I was without a strategy, just having fun and just happy to be here with all the friends and people here.
Congratulations, Marion. Well done. You deserve it.
Thank you so much.
Wow, what a champion. It's been a long time coming for Marion Haerty. She made finals in Jackson in 2021 and lost out to Zoe Sadowski-Synnott. She made finals this year, though, and she has taken the title. Now we switch our attention to the men, though, where Mikey Ciccarelli trails Nils Mindnich by 20 points. Nils with a breathtaking first run, Todd.
Yeah, Nils just absolutely came out swinging on run number one. And, you know, Nils's personality and what his background is, it plays to his riding. He's very precise. He knows exactly where to put tricks. He knows how to find and link them together. And that's, I mean, that is the mark of someone that is really progressive in their field.
But in essence, especially with his tricks, Mikey Ciccarelli is no less clinical.
No, he's definitely, Mikey's got a couple of tricks here that if he can nail both of these, it's going to be difficult. Here he goes, coming in switch.
So much less sun here, though, now. Really shaded side of the hill.
Switch 5, Indy, and goes gigantor on that. That was probably one of the biggest tricks that we've seen done all day long. Setting him up here for this backside hip. He wants that alley-oop 7. Kind of a little bit of a tail drag on that, but I'll give it to him.
I like to call that the deck chair.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit of a jet ski.
How much speed was he ditching on the way in as well? He knew how fast he was going.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes those wind lippy jumps that are really poppy like that, they're real fun to get yourself in the air, but man, are they flat.
Okay, coming across right on the outside of this. I think only Travis has been out here. This is the only track he's following right now.
So we're looking here. This is where the little diving board is. He went alley-oop style on this before, almost like a front side board slide. No, pops out and backside 3 off.
Finds that transition again.
Now he's hauling. But, I mean, look, the big meat and potatoes of that run, little melancholy there. The big meat and potatoes of that run was the Indy Cab 5 off of that roller. It was way bigger than I thought that he was going to go. And he came out of that thing just screaming.
It looked like he'd under-rotated on takeoff.
Yeah, that's
horribly.
what I thought. I thought he was coming up 270 once again. And wow, what a great showing up top for Ciccarelli.
Jamie, Sage, Jared, Haley, Torgeir, Austen, and Travis.
What up with that cab 9?
I went cab 5, but I went way further. Like, got good air time. Back road 7. All the way around, but I did a bit of a kooky stomp.
Yeah. You know what range you're on, right?
Yeah,
we're good.
Yeah. But we'll see. And then kind of did that little pillow back through things.
Nah, Mike.
Peanut gallery
bland one.
is the best. I mean, come on. That's the best part of the final. Like, you don't want to listen to us. You just listen to those guys.
Far more qualified to commentate on this. Okay, one man left at the top of this mountain, still to drop. He currently leads the 2024 Natural Selection Tour Finals here in the Selkirk Tangiers. Nils Mindnich has a win at his fingertips. Mikey Ciccarelli has just put down a big statement run.
We won't know what the scores are until the end of this run, so we have no idea how Mikey scored. But we know Nils, the switch king here in the backcountry, is going to dig deep because he doesn't know what Mikey did. All he saw was him take off and then blast out into the flats.
So once again, dropping switch from the top. Consequential turns, and he's making it look relatively pedestrian.
Switch back 3 off that upper cliff. Keeps it up. Just powers out of it. Switch stance now. This is insane. Coming into this next roller, what's he got? Is he going to go switch
front 3?
Oh wow, switch stance front side 360 still.
Are we going to see a switch run? We talked about a switch run top to bottom in the last time, and he swung it round at this point. He'd done the whole of the top run, but I think we might see an entire switch run here.
God, I would love that. Nils just looking so comfortable here. Coming into this next little pop-off section. Little switch, frontside air kick out.
Wow. What a statement.
Yeah, absolutely. He's playing to the judge's credo. He's making it difficult. He's making the difficult look easy. He's taking a bigger risk by riding switch stance here.
Well, it's an engineer's approach to a judging criteria. You're going to load the points if I come down switch.
Absolutely. Everyone else is coming at this thing like a high school dropout. Homeboy over here is honors program. He's doing switch powder turns that look so good, and now he's moving into the top of the saddle that's got some exposure. This is where he's taking a different line here. Gonna do this switch cliff drop to in the back seat run out. Wow, top to bottom, fully switched. This is the only time he's going his natural stance is on the goat path on the way out. So Nils Mindnich, wow, this is going to be interesting to see how we do here.
I'm giving it to Nils right now.
But that was gigantic. That Indy 7, Cab 5 with the Indy grab was massive. Look at this. Boom. He's kind of inverted on that and just takes it way down the landing. But you don't get it done with one trick though. There's a little bit of a back seat on the back rodeo 7. Didn't really hamper his flow too much. And there's that redirect on the little snow boulder. But Nils.
Switch back 3 above exposure.
Yep. Yeah, and he's riding out of that at speed. And then the switch front side 360. The run out on that was immaculate. Look at that. He even gets the grab, the switch frontside grab, little switch frontside air, switch cliff drop to flat that he has to just power out.
Soak that one up.
Go same line?
Kind of same line, yeah.
Yes. A little left, a little right.
A little left.
Top, bob.
He's not giving it. He doesn't want to demoralize Mikey at this stage, does he?
Man.
Yeah, I did the whole thing switch.
All right, finishes ready for scores.
What is this going to be? Whoa, Mikey Ciccarelli.
An 85 for Mikey Ciccarelli, an 81 for Nils Mindnich. So token gesture for the switch riding. Mikey Ciccarelli does it with some big freestyle.
Oh my God, okay.
Congratulations, Mikey.
Nobody doesn't like Mike. Oh, Mikey. Oh my God, you guys are so kind. Holy crap.
Mikey, how we feeling, bud? I think I know.
I am ecstatic, shocked again. I feel like this whole day's been shocking, so. Whoa. Yeah, that's all I can say is.
I feel like you took a break from competitive snowboarding to get into the backcountry, and today, just now, everything just came full circle for you because you just won the 2024 Yeti Natural Selection.
Yeah, that sounds crazy coming out of your voice there. But yeah, I honestly left the contest world, wanted just to have more fun on my board, and honestly today was just a lot of fun, so that's all I'm trying to do.
How were you feeling coming out of that last run? Just now when we saw you, you looked a little confident, but kind of like, I don't know how it went.
I was very unsure. I knew I put some good stuff down, but you know, Nils has been shredding all day, so it was a toss-up for sure.
Well, hey man, enjoy the moment. I'm proud of you. Congratulations.
Yes, dude. Celebration at the top of the mountain. The guides and the crew all enjoying themselves. And 2 new Yeti Natural Selection Tour champions for 2024. Marion Haerty and Mikey Ciccarelli. Getting that pub beer spray. Done a great job there. No shortage of things to chew over in the post-show, Todd.
No, I can't wait to talk about this. I mean, ultimately, today was a day of underdogs and unexpected brilliance on this course. I mean, look, the last matchup between Nils Mindnich and his switch riding versus a couple big tricks by Mikey Ciccarelli. There is a lot to talk about in this post-show.
Yeah, we're going to chew it all over in the Natural Reflections post-show, sponsored by Pub Beer. While we take a break, I'm going to wash some of the egg off my face. See you in a sec.
I showed up in the Pemberton Valley in 1998. The backyard was huge.
In the 2000s, there were so many film crews out here, and it was a real rat race. The snowboarding was growing so fast. It was about getting shots, you know, getting the ender in the DVD or getting the open. Money that was being thrown at snowboarding was insane.
I only really wanted to free ride, so I kind of didn't really care what everybody else was doing.
I think those guys had their own little scene. They were doing it because they loved doing it. There was a passion to it.
From the beginning, and even still now, it was about like living locally and kind of having a bunch of things in grasp. Over time, you gain a familiarity with these spaces, and I think that's what it takes to have a life in the mountains.
Welcome to the Natural Reflections post-show. We'll be pulling apart all of the action in just a moment. But first, we want to give a shout out to our sustainability partners. Yeti have been on board since day one and committed to the tour's mission for being plastic-free. We've also got TAE on board, who are creating carbon-free, non-radioactive, clean fusion energy. Let's check it out.
Elevating the conversation around sustainability has been a priority for Natural Selection from day one. Mother Nature is our main character, and we are proud to partner with inspiring companies who are dedicated to sustainability. Yeti has been instrumental to developing Natural Selection's sustainability strategy, proving that you can do good business but also remain committed to tackling the impact of climate change. Natural Selection's use of Yeti drinkware, thereby reducing plastic use, is only one small example of how we continue to collaborate. TAE is one of the most innovative companies in the world. Developing commercial fusion power and the cleanest environmental profile, fusion is nature's preferred source of energy. It's the same process that powers the sun and stars, and it's what makes life viable on Earth. Natural Selection road tripped with Rivian across Colorado during duels and up to Revelstoke, showcasing EV capabilities in the mountains. Rivian sets a great example for others to follow as we are seeing rapid advancements towards electrifying snowmobiles and helicopters. For over 30 years, Ride Snowboards has been testing and employing new manufacturing techniques to decrease raw materials needed for production. As Natural Selection's official snowboard partner, Ride gets our dedicated crew into the mountains to make the magic happen. A New Earth project is an innovative company that works with many outdoor brands to employ sustainable packaging solutions. Less packaging waste means less plastic pollution in places where we play, both in the mountains and on the water. Lastly, Arc'teryx is dedicated to making gear that will last a lifetime. Through its Rebird program, designed to care and repair the most durable outerwear on the market. Natural Selection is stoked and inspired to partner with brands who have proven their commitment to Mother Nature, showing that you can do good business while also being committed to our planet.
Okay, it's time for the post-show. Joining me back in the booth are both Todd Richards and Mary Walsh. No shortage of things to discuss here. Let's start with the winning runs, though, and we'll kick it off with the women's final, where Marion Haerty took the win. Mary.
I think this is a huge day, not only for Marion, but also just for Natural Selection in general, to see a rider that has been here since the very beginning rise to the very top of the podium. It's so exciting. You know, she took a year off last year to rehab an injury and came back just riding so strong, bringing her expertise in the mountains from Chamonix, like you have said, Ed, into this terrain.
Well, and also, Todd, we talked about this a little in the commentary, strategic nous.
Yeah.
She put that first run down.
I think she knew exactly what she needed to do. She set herself up well to anticipate what possibly could come from Mary Rand, and it actually worked out for her in the long run.
On the men's side of things, Mikey Ciccarelli, this was huge.
And I really think that was the differentiation between those two runs. I mean, yeah, Nils went switch his entire run, but it was this gigantic combo of moves for Ciccarelli. Although I would have liked to have seen that a little bit smoother, it really was that giant cab 5 that got it done for him.
Okay, we'll take a look now at the send of the day. And in the men's, that belonged to Jared Elston. Same hit as Mikey Ciccarelli got his work done, but a chicane.
The chicane is really a faith move. Basically what you're doing is digging your toe edge as you come in switch stance and dumping it over in basically a sideways front flip. You see it right there, and it's faith because as you come around, you don't really know if you're gonna over rotate or not, and to do it with that much speed and at that size definitely is the send of the day.
A piece of living snowboard history there. Haven't seen one of those for a while. Now, women's send of the day belonged to Mary Rand. This backside 360 from the semi-finals against Jamie Anderson.
I think what we all learned here today is that Mary Rand is an absolute contest killer. I mean, a lot of the riders here have come up through slopestyle, halfpipe, things like that. Mary Rand didn't, but she did come from Rhode Island, cut her teeth in small mountains, moved to Washington, and she is bred for the contest scene. I think it's really exciting watching her, and this was a display of banner boarding.
Killer instinct.
You talked about it, Mary, in the commentary. She's got that same fire that we see in Jared Elston.
Yes, 100%.
And no doubt we're going to see a lot more of that fire over the coming winters. Now, once everything had wrapped up on top of Mosquito Bowl, the riders shuttled down to the Selkirk Tangiers heli staging area at Albert Canyon. There's no shortage of pub beer, and they were met by all of the riders who'd been knocked out on qualifying day. 2 Rivian trucks waiting to be given away as well, the 2 R1Ts.
Well, the 2024 Yeti Natural Selection Selkirk Tangiers officially wrapped. They say any good day in the backcountry is when every single person makes it back to the trailhead, and we got the whole squad here. We are just about ready to crown a champion, starting with the women. Today was a day of days. Blue skies, super warm, unbelievably blower pow, and the riding was out of this world. In 3rd place, from South Lake Tahoe, winning $5,000, give it up for Jamie Anderson. Give it up for Jamie! Moving on to 2nd place, she came up through the duels. She beat Spencer O'Brien at Red Mountain, came to Revelstoke in Selkirk Tangiers, and officially staked her claim in snowboarding history from Narragansett, Rhode Island, Mary Rand!
Yeah, Mary. Come on.
One more time. She's taking home $10,000. And then in 1st place, she put on a hell of a show here in Revelstoke and Selkirk Tangiers, winning a Rivian R1T. These things were designed for adventure and caring about the planet for generations to come. It's a fully electric truck. It's the wave of the future. From Chamonix, France, Marion Hardy. One more time for all 3 of these ladies. They put on a show. The day that these dudes had was absolutely unbelievable. In 3rd place, winning $5,000 from Jackson Hole, Wyoming. You've probably heard of this dude. Give it up for Travis Rice.
Look at this. Frozen in time. Just like Han Solo.
This next rider was a threat all day. He posted the 2nd highest score of the day. Nils Mindnich! Nils is taking home a cool $10,000 for his efforts. He also came up through duels. So we got 2 duelers in the finals. And now our champion. I think this place is gonna explode. He's every snowboarder's favorite snowboarder. We're so stoked to see him on the top of the podium. He rode like an actual champion today. He is your champion. He's Mikey Ciccarelli. Mikey is also taking home a Rivian R1T. Let's give it up for your 3 men's champions. Well, that officially wraps the 2024 Yeti Natural Selection, both in Revelstoke and Selkirk Tangiers. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to the riders. Thank you to the NST crew. Thank you to everybody at Selkirk Tangiers and Revelstoke, as well as all of our supporting brands. We love you. We'll see you next year.
Little bit of a backstory on these trophies. They were created by Tom Ruth and the team at FYI Design, one of the most legendary product designers in all of snowboarding. You can see on the side of them there a USB port. You can actually charge these and then they light up this stunning glacial blue colour. Snowboarding roots go so deep with this crew, so a massive thank you to them for creating these. Now though, we just have a bit of time to say thank you to all of our partners at Natural Selection.
My name is Carter Westfall. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Natural Selection. I want to take this time to recognize the partners who are part of Natural Selection, because without their support, none of what you're seeing would be possible. You know, our story goes back to the fall of 2020 when Yeti's CEO Matt Reinches visited Travis and I at Jackson Hole. Together we walked the course at Jackson, and they could envision what we were trying to create, something super innovative, really taking a whiteboard and creating something special and new. And they took a risk on us. So now we're in our 4th year and just working with incredible partners who are all playing a super functional role to how we execute the events.
Partners we work with are instrumental to getting the job done, relying really heavily on the gear and equipment that we bring out with us to have a good day out there. We work with some of the highest caliber athletes in the field, and we work with some of the best crews in the field. And there's this expectation that our gear keeps up with us and our equipment keeps up with us. And I'm really proud of the partners we work with. I'm really stoked to work with the partners we work with, and really grateful in what we get to do because of them.
I mean, our whole outfit, everything we do is supported by our partners. And last but not least, I want to give a special thank you to Red Bull. They've been with us from day one. They're bringing all this content to a global audience, and we couldn't be here without their support.
And that draws to a close the 2024 Yeti Natural Selection Tour. It's been emotional, Todd.
You know, this is the competition that everyone talks about. They can't wait to sit down and watch it, and this year did not disappoint. I can't wait for the next one.
I think it's clear watching the riders carrying the co-founder of NST, Liam Griffin, just how much this contest and this event means to snowboarding and to all of us. I mean, this is a true snowboarders snowboarding contest, and I can't wait till next year.
Yeah, we can say thank you to all of you for watching, but Liam and his crew, what they're able to do, it's easy to forget just how much of a privilege it is to watch snowboarding of this level in the backcountry live. Thank you all so much. We look forward to seeing you in 2025.
Wait a minute. This is not where I parked my Rivian.
You can take off further right too. A little higher, eh? Yeah.
Oh my God. Now, Marianne?
How is that snow? Isn't it insane? Yeah, I got a little needed place.
This is gonna be nuts.
Oh, baby, talk dirty to me.
Here we go, here we go.
Holy fuck!
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, Sam.
Don't worry, guys. We can put the crowd noise in at post.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, Mike.
Oh, I was on photo mode.
Come on.
Bring it home, brother. Lucky enough to win the thing, and now I'm driving in a brand new Rivian R1T, which is pretty wild. It brakes for itself. It's very nice. I think I'll put it to the test. Might as well.
There's something in this car that you feel good, you know? The handling is really easy. I don't know, it's so nice.